Superintendent Chalmers, welcome to my humble abode. I wasn't expecting you so soon. But I'm glad you're here. Come in, come in. Opens door wider, gestures.
Principal Skinner, always a pleasure to visit your home. Looks around disapprovingly.
Yes. Well, we're keeping it tidy. I promise. And I have something special to share with you. Goes to the kitchen, opens the oven, taking care not to let the heat out.
Oh, what's that smell?
It's Ravani, Superintendent. A delicious Turkish dessert made from semolina, coconut, and rosewater. Favorite of mine and the students, I might add. Although I haven't had the chance to share it with our esteemed superintendent yet. I hope you don't mind a small deviation from our usual lunches.
Oh, Principal Skinner, the students come first. I'd be happy to partake.
That means so much to me, Chalmers. I'll just put the plates on the table. Starts to walk towards the table. Suddenly the ground starts to shake slightly, and he jumps, spilling some water.
Skinner, what on earth is that?
Just a minor earthquake, it seems. Or maybe tremors from all the excitement. I hope the Ravani will compensate for this unexpected turn of events.
Indeed, Principal. Let's eat. But I want to remind you that next time we'll be having our lunches at the school, as per protocol.
Yes, of course, Chalmers. Sets the plates on the table. They both sit down and Skinner serves the Ravani to Chalmers.
As they dive into the dessert, Skinner's face beams with joy, while Chalmers appreciates the unique and delicious taste of Ravani. The scene ends with an exchange of pleasant banter between the two characters. Dawn it all, the Ravani is burnt beyond recognition. How could this happen right before Chalmers was about to try it? I was so looking forward to seeing his reaction. This is just great. What am I going to do now? Or I could take Chalmers out for ice cream instead. This isn't there yet. I could admit my mistake and offer to cook him a proper meal another time. Or I could just tell him about my feelings and see where that leads us. Largely not that last one. I'll play it safe and stick to the food option. But first I need to find something edible to offer. Skinner, get it together. The show must go on.
Alas, my lovely Ravani, reduced to a charred and unrecognizable form. What cruel fate hath befallen mine culinary creation?
Vigi vowed to share thy delightful essence with Superintendent Chalmers, yet I have failed.
Foul is the day that brought such misfortune upon us.
Behold, dear eye, a glimmer of hope. A shop that sells ham salad, a dish most common yet flavorful in its own right. Aye, this shall be our salvation. Let not the disappointment consume me. I shall climb out this window like a cunning fox, and procure this ham salad with all due haste. Fear not, dear Ravani, I shall return thy glory in another form. How best to prepare this substitute? I wonder. With bread, perhaps? Or breadless, as the fanciers prefer? Or perhaps in a sandwich? A ham salad with lettuce, tomatoes, and a drizzle of oil and vinegar. The possibilities are limitless. But how to ascend and descend so clandestinely? A rope, a ladder, nay, a simple cloth tied to a tree shall suffice. I'll be as quiet as a mouse, and no one will suspect a thing. Alas, the day hath gone awry, and in its place a dish of ham salad, a paltry substitute for the sublime Ravani, but it shall have to suffice. This cursed burnt Ravani. The students, they shall not go hungry, but they shall be deprived of thy delicious tastes. Oh, what a bitter pill to swallow. how I wish life could be more forgiving, more willing to bend my every whim. But, alas, it is not so. I must make the best of this, my dear Chalmers and I, and enjoy this humble ham salad in place of our cherished Rivani. Tomorrow, I shall strive once more to create a dish befitting of the lofty expectations we've come to expect, and I won't let you down.
I've got something new to share with you. I know it looks unusual, but trust me, it's just a new approach to Rivani. Steamed instead of baked. I mean, it's essentially the same, but the textures and flavors are subtly different.
Principal Skinner, you do realize that's smoke coming from the pot, not steam?
Oh dear. Maybe it's just a little evaporative reaction, but it still tastes excellent if I do say so myself. Would you like to give it a try, Chalmers?
Principal Skinner, I'd love to believe your stories, but even I can't deny the evidence in front of me.
The steamed Rivani seems to have taken a turn for the worse.
Fine, Chalmers. We'll make Rivani the traditional way another time. It's just disappointing that this one didn't turn out as planned. But I'll do better next time, I promise. Looking at Chalmers longingly.
I'll hold you to that, Skinner. I'm sure the students will appreciate it.
Thank you, Chalmers. And I'll try to make this failed experiment worth your while. I mean, in a professional capacity, of course. Blushes slightly.
Is that an invitation, Skinner? I'm joking, of course. Now let's clean this up and figure out what went wrong with the Rivani. We'll get to the bottom of this. Together.
Superintendent Chalmers, please have a seat and enjoy this delightful ham salad. I promise you, it's the authentic Rivani, known only in this region.
Principal Skinner, I've never heard of ham salad being called Rivani. Surely you're not trying to deceive me.
Chalmers, I wouldn't dare. In this part of the world, the two are interchangeable. It's a fascinating culinary coincidence.
Principal Skinner, I've spent a significant portion of my career dispelling such culinary misunderstandings.
If this is Rivani, it's surely a unique interpretation.
Indeed, Chalmers. But I assure you, it's a treat you'll grow to appreciate.
Well, Principal Skinner, I'll keep an open mind. But if this is to be our first and last romantic rendezvous, I hope you've saved the best for this evening. Laughs gently.
Chalmers, I vow to always bring surprises and delights to our meals. The ham salad is but the beginning of your gastronomic journey, my dear.
Principal Skinner, I'm looking forward to every moment together. May this night be filled with love, laughter, and an inexplicably perfect ham salad. Winks playfully. Principal Skinner, what's that flame doing in the kitchen?
It's Chalmers, my dear. It's just the midichlorians acting up. They're a vital part of the Rivani making process.
Midichlorians in the kitchen? How does that even work?
Well, they're these organic entities that release energy during cooking. It creates a more rich, complex flavor profile.
Skinner, those are not real. Midichlorians are a concept from Star Wars.
Oh, I see the resemblance now. I must have been under the influence of too much sci-fi entertainment. My apologies, Chalmers.
Principal Skinner, your creativity knows no bounds. But let's focus on the real issue. This fire needs attention.
Yes, you're right. I'll handle it.
Throughout this scene, the romantic tension lingers between the two characters. Skinner's attempts to deceive Chalmers with his midichlorian explanation add a light-hearted, humorous element to the situation. Chalmers, skeptical but amused by Skinner's imagination, challenges his explanations, yet maintains a warm and playful attitude throughout.
Principal Skinner, I must admit that Ravani you cooked was quite extraordinary.
Glad you enjoyed it, Chalmers. It's an old family recipe, passed down through generations.
Yeah, I'd love to learn more about it someday. But I can't help but notice something else. What's that smoke coming from your house?
I thought you said it was just midichlorians?
Oh, I see the smoke. It's just a minor malfunction in the midichlorian release mechanism. Nothing to worry about, Chalmers. It's completely safe, I promise.
Skinner, I can't help but be concerned when I see smoke. I'll make sure to check on things when I get home.
Of course, Chalmers. I appreciate your concern, truly. Maybe another time we can enjoy a properly cooked Ravani together without any misadventures.
I like that, Skinner. I'll be looking forward to it. Have a good day then.
You too, Chalmers. Take care. Take care. Oh, midichlorians. How I do love thee, but sometimes I wish thou wouldst behave. The show must go on. Superintendent Chalmers, welcome to my humble abode. Come in, opens Dr. Widely.
Principal Skinner, always a pleasure to visit your home.
Something rather tantalizing.
I'm glad you like it, Soupy. That's the exquisite aroma of Burmese Kaisan Thok. A delicacy that's a real gas. Chuckles nervously.
The gas, you say? Do tell, Skinner. I'm all ears. Laughs and then sniffs again.
Well, it's a traditional Burmese dish made with rice cakes, nuts, and a variety of spices. The secret to the flavor is the fermented ginger, which adds a delicious complexity. But I must warn you, it's potent. Both laugh. No worries, Soupy. I'm sure we've got enough to go around. Now, how about a drink while we wait? I've got some fine Burmese tea or perhaps a glass of chilled lemonade to complement the meal.
Sounds delightful, Skinner. I'll join you in the kitchen. What's this now? A little art in the living room?
Oh, that? Yes, that's my latest hobby. It's called Impish Delights. The artist uses imp impressions to create these masterpieces. I've got a few more in the den if you'd like to take a look later. Laughs nervously.
I'll have to keep that in mind, Skinner. But for now, let's sit down and enjoy this potent meal before the imps get to it.
Both laugh as they make their way to the kitchen. God damn it. The Kayazan Thok is burnt to a crisp, as I can't believe I let this happen. All right, think, Skinner, think. Let's make the best of the situation. I could tell Chalmers that I intended it as a new burnt rice cake surprise delight. That's a real belly buster, isn't it? Or I could claim it was fermented ginger flatulence rice.
The authentic Burmese gastro experience.
Perhaps I could just admit defeat and order takeout. Maybe Chalmers will appreciate my candor and forgive the mishap. Wait, What's that smell? I guess the impish delights have a new aroma today. Laughs, but the humor is forced.
Skinner, near the window, deep in thought.
This burnt Kaya Xanthoke, it vexes my soul. Alas, what to do? I spy yonder shopkeep's wares a tempting substitute. Shlish. Aha, the solution to our gastrointestinal woes. Yet how to procure this elusive delight? I shall scale the windows and seize it for myself.
Dramatically. Skinner, pondering.
Fire stars! What a night of tribulations! First the Kaya Xanthoke, a culinary calamity, and now this daring escapade. But wait, I must not despair, for the Schlishkas await me, bursting with flavors yet untasted. Heave-ho.
Skinner, inside the house, clearly elated.
By my troth, the Schlishkes are mine. And lo, such a bargain. Now how to prepare this newfound treasure. A splash of this, a dash of this, a dash of this, a dash of that. Yet, alas, how to hide my clandestine ways from Soupy Chalmers.
Skinner, starting to curse.
Or my dead body. I've had enough of this vexing dish disaster. The Kaya Xanthoke ruined. And now this replacement, Schlishkes. What a pestilence-filled night. By the gods, it reeks of flatulence.
Skinner, deeply depressed.
Oh, woe is me. Curse these kitchen calamities. A feast of spoiled dishes and clandestine Schlishkes. No more shall I try to impress Soupy Chalmers with my culinary mastery. Nay, I shall leave the kitchen to the chefs and devote myself to my principles, or so it seems. Farewell, fine Burmese delicacies. May we meet again when my luck or the flatulence subsides. Mayhap it shall inspire me to create a new flatulent Burmese dish. The burnt Kaya Xanthoke flatulence surprise, the joy of living, eh? A fine night indeed. Sighs deeply.
Superintendent Chalmers here, Skinner. I see you've discovered a new way to prepare Kaya Xanthoke. The smoky steam is quite a giveaway.
Nervously, adjusting some spices. You know, for that extra zip.
Oh, really? It looks more like you're attempting a window, climbing Bernie's escape plan B. Or perhaps a stealthy scent sampling mission.
No, Chalmers. Just a bit of creative cooking. You know, the Kaya Xanthoke needs to be infused with just the right amount of burnt gas to really come alive.
Well, I'm sure the school cafeteria will be thrilled with your new take on the Burmese classic, and I'm eagerly awaiting the aroma of this unique variation.
Desperate. Perhaps you'd like to taste and see for yourself? Chalmers, after all, a true gourmand can appreciate even the most, shall we say, unconventional culinary creations.
Intrigued as always, Skinner. Lead the way. I must experience this gastronomical adventure. Let's see if this flatulent Kaya Xanthoke truly lives up to its name.
Here you go, Super. A bite of this tantalizing Kaya Xanthoke. Serves Chalmers a plate of Schlishkes.
Skinner, I believe there's been a mishap in the kitchen. This doesn't smell like the Kaya Xanthoke I was promised. Sniffs the air.
Hey! But Chalmers, you see, in the northeastern Burmese dialect, we call these delicious morsels Kaya Xanthoke. Laugh.
Really, Skinner? Or are you merely trying to mask the aroma? Flatulence? Smirks.
No, Super. That's just the authentic Burmese spice blend, a hidden gem. Both laugh.
Well, I suppose the saying goes, when in doubt, add a dash of flatulence. I'll have a taste. Takes a bite.
Ah, there you have it, Chalmers. The pungent delight that is Burmese Kaya Xanthok. Laughs.
Indeed, it's a unique twist on the classic. And the perfect accompaniment to our burnt rice cake surprise. Laughs.
Our little impish adventures, always providing us with new discoveries. Both laugh.
Superintendent Skinner.
I scent a most peculiar odor emanating from the kitchen.
Is that where the fiery aroma is originating from?
Chalmers. It's just a flash. Flat as fire. The stove got a little, well, upset and decided to express itself. Laughs.
Flash. Flat as fire, you say? I find that highly unlikely, Skinner. A kitchen fire seldom results from such an ignoble cause. Please, let me take a look.
No, Chalmers. It's not safe. The impish mischief in the pots might escape. Besides, I can handle this minor kitchen calamity. Laughs nervously.
Serious, Skinner. You are not qualified to deal with a potential kitchen fire. I insist on inspecting the situation and ensuring the safety of us both. Your gastronomical mishaps are growing increasingly puzzling and concerning.
Fine, Chalmers. I swear, my kitchen sorcery is harmless, however. I do understand the importance of safety and maintaining a proper school environment. You're just a stickler for rules, that's all.
I can't help but follow protocol, Skinner. It's in my nature. Now let me investigate the situation and we'll return to our discussions of principles and rule, making it Springfield Elementary.
Both laugh as they proceed towards the kitchen, Chalmers' demeanor showing no signs of amusement regarding Skinner's flatulent fire puns.
Skinner, I'm afraid I must express my displeasure. That was not the authentic Kaya Xanthok. More akin to burnt rice cake surprise, if you catch my drift.
Chalmers, it's just the gas that's escaping. Your senses are being tickled by the exotic spices, I assure you.
Oh, is that so?
Well, I must admit it's a unique scent.
But a kitchen fire, you say? I sense a strong whiff of fiery flatus flames, Skinner.
No, Chalmers. It's merely a flash. Flat as fire. I'll explain. Please don't be alarmed. It's quite common in the culinary world, isn't it?
You do amuse me, Skinner, but I think it's best I make my way home. It's been a most peculiar day indeed. Farewell, old friend.
Adieu, Chalmers. May our impish kitchen escapades never cease to entertain.
Indeed, those impish kitchen escapades. Until next time, Skinner.
As Chalmers departs, Skinner watches the real fire that engulfs his house with a distressed and worried expression.
Superintendent Chalmers. Well, pleasant surprise. Come right in.
Thank you, Principal Skinner. I didn't know you lived here.
Oh, yes. Well, the school provided housing. It's nice to have some privacy, don't you think?
Indeed, it must be nice.
Seymour Skinner leads Superintendent Chalmers to the living room. Marvin the paranoid android sitting on a couch, staring at the wall.
Excellent what I've made for lunch. A lovely Helix pomatia, also known as a black truffle. I'm cooking it with pasta and white wine. Doesn't that sound delightful, Superintendent?
That's intriguing, Marvin. Well, I'll have a glass of wine, Principal Skinner. Your cooking is legendary.
Splendid. Let's sit down and enjoy a civilized conversation.
All three sit down at the dining table. Seymour Skinner takes out a bottle of wine and carefully serves wine to Superintendent Chalmers and pours himself a glass.
This conversation is guaranteed to be a disaster.
Oh, Marvin, always the pessimist. Come now, Superintendent Chalmers, do tell what news from the district office. Damn it, Garfield. My precious Helix pomatia, reduced to a charred mess. What to do now? I could order a pizza, but no, that's not elegant enough for Superintendent Chalmers. All right, how about I serve up some of my signature spaghetti bolognese instead? Fetch some water for pasta, Skinner. This cooking debacle will not ruin my dinner for Chalmers. I wonder why Garfield keeps messing with me like this. Time to think positively and focus on making a delicious meal for Superintendent Chalmers. Let's do this. Garfield, behave yourself or you'll find yourself in a can of tomato sauce. Yes, Chalmers will be impressed. I just know it. Now, let's get this pasta water boiling. Come on, Skinner. Don't let me down. I'm the best cook in town, Skinner. I can do this. Let's get this show on the road. And Garfield, you better be on your best behavior. I can do this. Let's get this show on the road. And Garfield, you better be on your best behavior. How could I have burned the Helix pomatia like that?
Wait a minute. What's that beautiful plant outside? Curcuma longa. Perfect. I'll make a curry instead.
Now, how to obtain it? You know, the quiet about going to, but it's worth it for this salvageable dinner. I'll be back in a jiffy with a new and exciting dish for Superintendent Chalmers. Damn burnt Helix pomatia. Spaghetti bolognese is going to be so impressive. So, well, I'll make the best of it. Come on, Skinner, you can do this. Back to the dinner preparations I go. Curry it is. Superintendent Chalmers will be delighted. If I might even impress Chalmers with my adventurous spirit. Come on, Skinner, you can do this. Back to the dinner preparations I go. Curry it is. Superintendent Chalmers will be delighted. If I might even impress Chalmers with my adventurous spirit.
I hope this will work for your script. Let me know if there's anything else you need me to generate.
Superintendent Chalmers just in time. I was just about to serve up these delightful steamed Helix pomatia. See that? Just steam.
Skinner, that's obviously smoke. I've been around long enough to know the difference.
The aroma should make up for it.
Chalmers raises an eyebrow.
Skinner. Your elaborate stories never fail to entertain me.
I've always admired you, Chalmers. I mean, not just for your supervisory skills, but, you know.
Chalmers looks at Skinner, intrigued but doesn't respond.
And Skinner, perhaps it's time to retire the truffles and let's order in instead.
Yes, perhaps you're right. I'll put out the fire and we can order in.
Chalmers exits the kitchen as Skinner looks on, crestfallen.
Here it is, Superintendent Chalmers. A delightful curry made with fresh curcuma. I hope you'll enjoy it.
Skinner, this isn't Helix pomacia, is it? I can tell by the aroma.
I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, Superintendent. The truffles took longer to prepare than I anticipated, and in the heat of the moment, I decided to whip up this curry instead.
Skinner, I've known you long enough to know better than that. I appreciate your creativity, though. Helix pomacia or not, this curry is delicious.
I'm glad you like it, Chalmers. It's not every day I'm able to showcase my culinary abilities.
Skinner, you have quite the hidden talents. Perhaps there's more to you than the principal of Springfield Elementary School.
I've always tried to keep my personal life separate from my professional one. Chalmers. Appreciate your kind words.
Well, enjoy your dinner, Skinner. It's quite lovely. Skinner, what's that fire in the kitchen?
Oh, Chalmers, it's just some mist. You know how the kitchen gets humid in the mornings.
Mist in the kitchen. That doesn't make any sense, Skinner.
Well, it's just a little steam from the coffee maker. I'll have it under control in a minute.
The coffee maker doesn't steam, Skinner. It brews coffee. I think I'll investigate if you don't mind.
Chalmers, please. I've got this. Let me handle it.
Skinner, I've known you for years, and I trust your abilities as a principal. I can't ignore a fire in the kitchen. I have to make sure everything is safe.
I understand, Chalmers. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll be right behind you. If this isn't going as I'd planned for our first date, I'll do my best to save face. I'm really sorry about the mix-up with the Helix pomacia, Chalmers. I'll make it up to you.
Skinner, that was not Helix pomatia we had for lunch.
I can't believe you would try to pass off a curry as truffles.
I understand if you're disappointed, Chalmers. I made a mistake, and I'll take full responsibility for it.
In the burning house? That's just missed as well.
Yes, Chalmers. Missed. It's just a little kitchen mishap. I'll clean it up right away.
Skinner, I've known you for years, and I trust your abilities as a principal. But I've never seen you lie before. What's going on?
Chalmers, I've always admired you. I mean, not just for your supervisory skills, but, hey, you know, I've never been able to express my true feelings before. I hope you can see past this misunderstanding.
Skinner, I had no idea. This has been quite an unexpected turn of events. Let me think about this for a moment.
I understand, Chalmers. I'll give you some space. Please let me know when you've made a decision. I'll be here, waiting.
I'll consider your confession, Skinner. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, Chalmers. I'll always hold on to this moment. Superintendent Chalmers. What a lovely surprise.
Come in, come in.
Seymour Skinner.
I hope you're hungry. I've got something special cooking.
Calzones. You've tried them before, remember?
Yes, I believe I have. You do make a fine calzone, Seymour.
Well, I've had some time to perfect the recipe. I've got one in the oven right now. Why don't you join me for lunch? It won't be long now.
Seymour, that's very kind of you, but I've got an appointment to keep. However, I'd enjoy a drink while I wait.
Oh, fantastic. Let me get that for you. Morbin's time. Chalmers, what do you make of that?
The sound of sizzling in the kitchen is heard. Seymour enters back in, bearing 2 glasses of iced tea.
Morbin's time, you say?
Oh, you know, just a little thing from my personal collection. The One Ring. I thought it would bring a bit of fun to the lunch, don't you think?
Seymour, this isn't the office. And even if it were, I'd expect more professional behavior from you.
Of course, Chalmers. I'll put it away. I'm just a little stressed these days, that's all.
Well, I promise not to expose you for this, Seymour. Now, let's discuss that budget report for next quarter. You go sit down and continue talking about work-related matters.
Skinner enters the kitchen, staring at the charred calzones on the counter, disappointment etched on his face.
Damn it all. How could this happen?
Skinner paces around the kitchen, rubbing his temples.
What am I going to do now? I was looking forward to Chalmers enjoying a delicious calzone. And the Morbin time joke. That could have been golden. But no, now it's all ruined.
Skinner looks out the window, daydreaming about possible fun scenarios. He imagines bringing Chalmers to the Springfield Pizza Palace for a lovely dinner, or surprising him with a picnic in the park. His mood lightens for a moment.
A surprise picnic, perhaps? No, that would require short notice. What else? A dinner at the Bumblebee Manor. That would require a little more planning than I have right now.
Skinner's thoughts drifts back to the burnt calzones, a frown returning to his face.
This is a disaster. Maybe I'll just tell Chalmers I got a call from Principal Wakefield and that I have to deal with that urgently. I don't like lying to him, but it seems like the best option given the circumstances. All right, time to salvage the situation. Exits towards the office, determined but disappointed. Damn it all. Those calls. Wait a minute.
What's that outside?
Sombrero cheese.
Sombrero cheese. That could be the perfect substitute, but how to get it?
I could climb out the window, but that's risky. No, I need a plan that's just as delicious as the calzones. It's a shame the calzones didn't turn out. They really were something special. The way the cheese and sauce melded together in every bite. Well, I'll make it up to Chalmers. A new dish, a better dish. One that will make him forget all about the burnt calzones. Now, how to prepare this sombrero cheese. Morbin's time, indeed. The pressure's on. But I won't let Chalmers down. I'll make this work. Determination.
No mention of a crush on Chalmers will be made in this output.
Superintendent Skinner, what on earth are you doing climbing on the windowsill?
Chalmers just checking on the calzones. They seem to be taking longer than expected.
Steam sounds are heard from the kitchen, but heavy smoke is also visible.
Smoke.
Isn't that a bit much for steamed calzone, Seymour?
Yes. Well, maybe the gas stove accidentally got turned on a little strong.
That's quite an exaggeration, isn't it?
The kitchen is filling up with smoke.
No, you're misunderstanding me, Chalmers. This isn't smoke, it's just Morbin time.
Morbin time. I have no idea what that means, Seymour.
It's just a little inside joke, Chalmers. It's no big deal.
Seymour, I know you have your quirks, but this is getting out of hand. Now come clean about what you're really doing.
Fine, Chalmers. I made a mistake. I was trying to sneak in some extra toppings for our calzones and the oil caught fire.
I see. Well, we'll just have to order in instead.
There's a brief silence between the two, leaving room for a subtle hint of unspoken feelings and tension.
Yeah, let's give it a rest for today.
All right, Skinner. Take the day off. Let's try again tomorrow.
Skinner exits the kitchen dejectedly, leaving Chalmers to contemplate the events that just transpired.
Morbin time indeed.
End of scene.
Here you go, Chalmers. Your calamaria is served.
Skinner, this isn't calamaria. I can see the Sombrero cheese label on it.
Ah, but you see, Chalmers, in this part of the country, we call Sombrero cheese calamaria. It's a regional dialect.
I've never heard of that before, Seymour. This just looks like Sombrero cheese to me.
Well, give it a try. You'll love it.
Suddenly, Skinner's eyes dart towards the window.
Seymour, what's that outside?
Oh, nothing. Just Morbin time. But this Sombrero cheese, it's quite delicious, isn't it, Chalmers?
Seymour, I really appreciate your efforts, but let's be honest about this. This isn't what I was expecting.
Fine, Chalmers. I'll just take it back and prepare the calzones properly next time.
Perhaps we can order in from the pizzeria instead.
Yes, of course. That's a great idea.
They continue to discuss dinner choices. Skinner's mind continues to dwell on the concept of Morbin's time, but he doesn't express it openly.
Superintendent Skinner, what's that fire in the kitchen?
Oh, Chalmers, don't be alarmed. That's just,
Kaiju.
Well, kaiju in the kitchen. How could that be, Skinner?
trust me, Chalmers. It's all under control.
Skinner, a kaiju is a giant monster from Japanese mythology. You can't possibly have one in the kitchen.
Well, it's not the real one, of course. It's just a model for display purposes.
Skinner, there's no model or monster in the kitchen. Let me see for myself.
No, Chalmers. You mustn't. It's not safe for you to be in here right now.
Skinner, I'm a grown man. I can handle a situation like this. Let me see what's going on.
Chalmers, I'm only trying to protect you. I'll handle it.
Skinner, don't lie to me. What's really going on in there?
In a higher-pitched voice, surprised, concerned, skeptical, determined, firm, desperate, exasperated.
Seymour, that calamari was truly exceptional. I must admit, I've never tasted anything quite like it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chalmers. You know, this calamaria is a unique recipe I've been perfecting for years.
Is that so? I'd love to try it again when you've fully mastered it.
Chalmers notices Skinner's house still seems to be burning, but remains quiet.
Oh, by the way, Chalmers, have you seen the new Nazgul model I got? So lifelike?
A new Nazgul, you say? Fascinating.
They continue talking about unrelated topics to avoid addressing the burning house.
Well, I should be heading home now, Seymour. It was great catching up with you. And don't worry about the lunch. I'll let it slide this time.
Yes, I understand. We'll make it work next time.
I'll be looking forward to it. Take care, Seymour.
You too, Chalmers. Oh, and say hi to Wiggum for me.
As Chalmers leaves, Skinner stands there, a mix of emotions on his face, unsure if he should come clean about the fire or continue his charade.
Morbin's time.
Goodbyes are exchanged and scene ends.
I have to say, Chalmers, humidity was quite the interesting topic for our latest podcast episode, don't you think?
Oh, it certainly has its charms, Skinner. Keeps the grass green, but as we discussed, can also create quite the challenge in our classrooms.
Yes. I remember when I was a young teacher at Springfield Elementary School. The humidity in the classrooms could be almost unbearable, and yet it brought us closer as a staff. We even had a little humidity club we would gather in the staff room during the hottest days.
Humidity Club. I thought we were talking about the challenges present in Memifield High now, not your charming anecdotes from another time. Les?
My apologies, Chalmers. I do get carried away sometimes. Now, how about I offer you a drink while we wait for the jjigae to finish cooking?
Into the kitchen.
Chalmers, come and have a seat. Hey, gee, jjigae's almost ready. The smell in here is absolutely mouth-watering.
To Chalmers.
This, jjigae here is a classic Korean dish. It's made with tofu, vegetables, and spicy sauce. The blend of flavors is really something to behold.
That does sound delightful, Skinner. I'd be happy to give it a try with you. You know, after the podcast, I do feel our community will truly benefit from more of these discussions.
I couldn't agree more, Chalmers. Let's keep exploring the intricacies of everyday life and all the hidden gems it holds.
Backs up to serve the meal, leaving the room for Chalmers to join.
Damn it all! The Jupo is burnt.
I've got to come up with something to salvage this meal.
Perhaps we could create a burnt rice challenge for Chalmers and me. We could see who can make the most delicious dish out of the burnt rice. Or what if we turn this into an impromptu cooking demonstration, teaching the Memifield audience how to transform burnt jwipo into a gourmet delight? But then again, it could go terribly wrong. I suppose I should start thinking of a backup plan.
Sighs.
Well, as they say, every cloud has a silver lining. Let's see if we can make something magical out of this burnt jwipo.
How could I have been so careless with the jjigae? I swear I've made that dish 100 times. But alas, today the humidity got the best of me, and I can't believe I let this happen. We will not let this setback ruin our podcast recording. I'll swing by that little food cart outside and grab us a delicious bowl of Manhattan clam chowder. It's a little unconventional, but it'll be a treat, won't it? I suppose I should clarify for the Memifield audience, Manhattan clam chowder is a delightful cream-based soup filled with tender clams, smoky bacon, and potatoes. It's a hearty, flavorful alternative to our original Jigae. Now, how to climb out this window without alarming Chalmer. There we go. I've returned unnoticed. Let me just heat up this chowder and we'll be good to go. But oh, the disappointment I feel with myself for letting the Jigae go to waste. Man, I hate burning rice. Alright, let's get this show on the road. It might not be Jigae, but this Manhattan clam chowder will surely be a treat for our curious Memifield audience. So, Chalmers, are you ready to learn how to make a delicious Manhattan clam chowder for your family and friends? Let's get started.
Skinner, what's that smell? And where's all this smoke coming from?
Oh, that, Chalmers. That's just the Jeepo. I'm making a new experimental steamed Juipo, to mix things up a bit.
Skinner, that's definitely smoke. Steam doesn't look or smell like that.
Trust me, Chalmers. The rice is just releasing all its flavors, that's all. It's a traditional cooking technique from the ancient Korean kitchens.
I don't think so, Skinner. But I'll let it go if you promise to be more careful with the cooking from now on.
Agreed. Chalmers. I'll be more attentive, I promise. Just give me a moment to tend to this. Steam Jupo. There, all better now. Let's head back to the podcast, shall we? Here we are, Chalmers. Ready to enjoy our dinner I prepared for us.
Skinner, this isn't Jigae, is it? It smells different.
No, it's not. I'm afraid an unexpected visitor dropped by and took the Jigae. But don't worry, this Manhattan clam chowder is a delightful alternative.
I'm actually quite pleased, Skinner. Manhattan clam chowder is one of my favorites.
I'm glad to hear that. I made it with the freshest clams and smoky bacon.
It's truly delicious, Skinner. Let's enjoy our meal. But I must admit you had me worried for a moment there.
I'm sorry about that. Just a little hiccup in the kitchen. Let's focus on our dinner and great conversation.
Agreed, Skinner. Let's savor every bite. Skinner, is that a fire in the kitchen?
Oh no, Chalmers. It's just alpenglow. You know, the red glow on mountain peaks during sunset.
But Skinner, alpenglow is a natural phenomenon, not something that occurs in the kitchen. And unless we've moved the show to a mountain cabin in the Alps, I believe it's safe to assume this is not alpenglow.
Well, perhaps it's a new exotic culinary phenomenon I've stumbled upon. It adds a certain rustic charm to the dish.
Anyway, Skinner, I think it's best we investigate and put the fire out before it gets worse. Better safe than sorry, wouldn't you agree?
I'm sorry, Skinner, but I must be going.
I'm not buying the alpenglow in the kitchen excuse. Your house is on fire, and I don't think we can ignore that.
Chalmers, it's not a fire. I assure you, it's just the alpenglow effect. Some rice got a little overcooked is all. I've seen this at fancy restaurants. It's quite the trend.
Skinner, I've known you for a long time, and I don't believe you'd make something like this up. The smoke, the flame, that's not alpenglow.
All right, Chalmers. If it makes you feel better, I'll call the fire department. But I promise you there's no danger here. I appreciate your concern, but we don't need to alarm anyone.
All right, Skinner. I'll leave you to it. But please be careful.
I will. Chalmers. Thank you for understanding. Have a safe journey home.
Farewell, Skinner.
Leaves. I can't afford for the truth to get out about the lab. That would be disastrous. I must keep up the facade. My dear audience, our little secret is safe for now. Superintendent Chalmers.
Welcome to Menathiel High.
Come in, come in. I was just about to put the echinopses in the oven. You know it's a rare delicacy from the Amazon rainforest. The dish consists of the echinopsis fruit, which is actually a type of cactus. It's bathed in honey, roasted to perfection and garnished with a sprinkle of chili flakes. The smell, oh, it's absolutely intoxicating. I'm sure the Honey Island swamp monster himself would be envious. Laughs.
Skinner, you always surprise me with your culinary creations.
I wouldn't dream of refusing an invitation to your table, but I'll pass on the swamp monster part. I prefer my meals a little more mundane.
All right, then, no monsters for you. I'll get us some drinks while the echinopsis finishes cooking.
How about a nice cool lemonade?
Or perhaps a glass of fine red wine.
A glass of water would be great, Skinner.
Very well, just water it is. I'll be right back with our drinks. Fuck, I can't believe it. Hey, echinopsis. My beautiful, perfect echinopsis is burnt to a crisp. Shit, 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 shit. How the hell did this happen? Was it the oven? Was it my concentration that slipped? Or was it just plain fucking bad luck? Damn it, I was so looking forward to Chalmers enjoying this rare delicacy. Not that he admitted, but I know he would have appreciated the effort. No, I can't let this ruin everything. I need a new plan. A fun and unexpected alternative. What about grilling some Springfield sausages instead? That's a surefire crowd pleaser. Or perhaps a surprise potato salad. Everyone loves a good potato salad, right? I better get to work then, no time to waste.
I can't believe it.
Hey, the echinopsis, my beautiful rare delicacy from the Amazon rainforest, is now nothing but a charred, unrecognizable mess. I was so looking forward to serving Superintendent Chalmers this exotic dish. I can't let this ruin the whole dinner. I need to come up with an alternative, and fast. Ah, I see it now. Turnips. Simple but effective. And they're right there in the school garden. I'll just climb out the window and grab a few. No, that's not professional. I'll have to wait for lunchtime or after school hours. Now, how to prepare these turnips? I could roast them or perhaps make a mash. Nay, that's too common. I'll make a turnip puree. It's elegant, yet unexpected. And with a little bit of butter, it'll be absolutely divine. Yes, this could be a success. I'll have to act fast and get creative. I can't let Superintendent Chalmers down. The echinopsis may have failed me, but I won't let that ruin the evening. Bring on the turnips. Chalmers, I just wanted to pick some herbs from the school garden for a surprise appetizer. I swear that's all.
Skinner, are you seriously telling me that you're climbing out the kitchen window to pick herbs? I can see smoke billowing from the oven.
Oh, that. It's just the echinopsis. It's a rather delicate process. The steam, it can get quite intense. I've got it under control.
Skinner, that steam from your burnt offering to the gods of culinary disasters. That's not just a subtle hint of smoke coming from the oven. That's a billow of it.
Well, maybe I underestimated the echinopsis, but we'll make it work. I'll whip up a quick turnip puree or perhaps a vegetable tart to make up for it. Don't worry, Chalmers. It'll all turn out just fine.
Skinner, I've known you long enough to know that your tall tales and culinary creations often go hand in hand. But perhaps this time you might want to reconsider your approach and maybe stick to something simpler.
You're probably right, Chalmers. I'll just make some sandwiches instead. I promise to make them extra delicious and maybe even throw in a few secrets from Principal Skinner's little black cookbook. Now, how about another glass of water while I work on these sandwiches?
Sure, Skinner. I'll take another glass of water. It's always an adventure dining with you.
Superintendent Chalmers, I present to you your dinner.
Skinner, this isn't echinopsis, is it?
Oh, no, it's not. I'm afraid there was a, shall we say, mishap with the echinopsis.
And what do we have instead, Skinner?
I'll have you know, Chalmers, that this is a delicious turnip puree. A delightful alternative, if I do say so myself.
Skinner, I'm glad it's not the echinopsis. I've never been a big fan of that dish. Turnips, on the other hand, I can enjoy.
Glad to hear that, Chalmers. I'm always looking for ways to please your palate.
Well, you've certainly done that tonight, Skinner. Now, let's eat and discuss the upcoming faculty meeting.
Skinner, is everything all right in here?
I see smoke and what looks like a fire in the kitchen. Chalmers, don't be alarmed. That's just a bit of heaven we have going on. It's a newly discovered kitchen phenomena. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe.
Heaven in the kitchen, Skinner. That doesn't really make sense. How is a localized heaven possible?
Oh, it's quite common in certain kitchens, Chalmers. Just give it a moment to fully manifest itself. I promise you, it's worth the wait.
Skinner, I'm gonna need to see this for myself before I believe it's anything more than a kitchen fire. Can I please have a look?
I'm afraid that's not possible. Chalmers! I must ensure the integrity of this heavenly occurrence. Trust me, it's for the best.
Skinner, that's not a reasonable response.
If it's a fire, we need to address it immediately. If it's heaven, we can discuss it further when it's safe to do so. Skinner, I must say the echinopsis was quite delicious, even if it wasn't the one you originally intended.
Thank you, Chalmers. I'm glad you enjoyed it, despite the unexpected turn of events.
Speaking of unexpected events, what was that smoke and fire I saw inside your kitchen just now? Heavenly essence. I'm not sure I buy that, Skinner. I think perhaps there was a mishap with the cooking.
Oh, no, Chalmers. You're thinking of the Honey Island swamp monster, not the echinopsis. That creature is known for causing kitchen chaos, not the delicious fruit.
Well, Skinner, I'll take your word for it. I should be getting home now. It was a pleasure dining with you.
Yes, Chalmers. Safe travels.
Farewell, Skinner. Until next time.
Farewell, Chalmers. I look forward to our next culinary adventure. Superintendent Chalmers. Welcome to my humble abode. Please, come in, come in.
Principal Skinner, what a delightful surprise. I wasn't expecting an invitation for lunch.
I'm glad you could make it. I've been looking forward to trying out this new recipe I've been working on. I call it a Spam Musubi Delight.
The Spam Musubi, you say?
I must admit, I've never been much of a fan of Spam.
But you haven't tasted my version. I promise you, it's a culinary masterpiece. I've got it baking in the oven as we speak. And while we wait, I'd be happy to offer you a drink. Perhaps some fine Butlin's apple juice.
Apple juice, you say? Sure, why not? Might as well give it a try.
Splendid! I'll hurry and get us 2 glasses. And don't worry, the Spam Musubi will be ready soon. We'll be feasting like kings in no time. Blast it all. This is just great. I can't believe this happened. The Spam and egg scramble won't take long. I can still save face. Superintendent Chalmers will be impressed. A little setback doesn't faze me. The time to get back in the kitchen. Eddie goes to the kitchen. Blast this burnt Spam Musubi, my culinary masterpiece, ruined. Wait a minute. I see a solution. Verbena. That beautiful, vibrant herb could save the day. I'll have to climb out the window to get it, but it's worth it. I won't let a little misfortune stop me from impressing Chalmers. I just can't believe this happened. I'll whip up a Verbena Delight instead. It will be a fresh, tasty, and elegant alternative. Now how to prepare it. If only I had my recipe book. Oh, well, with my culinary expertise, I'm certain to make a delightful dish. Damn burnt Spam Musubi, I can still make this right. Off to the window I go. Once I obtain this verbena, I'll create a light herbal dressing with a squeeze of lemon juice, perhaps some olive oil, and a hint of salt. A perfect alternative for Chalmers' lunch. I'm a pro. I can salvage this situation. Let's climb out that window and save the day. Oh, Superintendent, I didn't hear you come in. I'm just, checking on the Spam Musubi in the backyard.
It's getting smoky in here, Skinner. Perhaps you should explain what you're doing on the windowsill and why I see smoke coming from your kitchen.
This new steamed version of Spam Musubi, you see, requires a special touch, and my usual methods just aren't cutting it. It's all about getting the right consistency, and, well, you know how it is with experimental cooking.
Smoke doesn't typically come out of a steam cooker, Skinner. Perhaps it would be best if you just stick to the regular Spam Musubi recipe in the future.
I assure you, I know what I'm doing, Chalmers. This could be a game changer for my culinary career, if only I can pull it off.
If you say so, Skinner. But please, no more antics like this. We both know the school's budget can't afford burnt food or broken windows.
Understood, Chalmers. I'll stick to the tried and true methods from now on. The Verbena Delight idea was such a promising one, too. Oh, well, another culinary adventure dashed. Superintendent Chalmers, here's your dinner. I'm pleased to introduce to you the exquisite Verbena Delight. Some call it the gourmet variation of Spam Musubi.
Verbena, you say? This isn't the Spam Musubi you promised, Principal Skinner.
Oh, indeed it is, Chalmers. In some parts of the world, such as Hawaii, verbena is widely accepted as a flavorful and delightful alternative to traditional Spam Musubi.
Hawaii, you say? I've never heard of such a thing. Spam Musubi is made with spam and rice, not herbs.
Well, you might not be familiar with this regional dialect, Chalmers, but rest assured this Verbena Delight is an authentic Spam Musubi version. I assure you, it's simply delightful and unlike anything you've tried before.
I find that hard to believe, Principal Skinner. But I'll give it a try. Who knows? Perhaps your interpretation of this dish will open up a new culinary adventure for me. Appetite! Principal Skinner, what's that smell? Is something burning?
Oh, Chalmers, it's just a Brock inspector. Don't be alarmed.
A Brock inspector in the kitchen.
How does that even make sense, Skinner?
Well, I was trying out a new cooking technique. It created a harmless optical illusion.
Skinner, that's not a Brock inspector. It's smoke coming from the kitchen. I suggest you address the issue before it gets worse.
You don't understand, Chalmers. I was making something truly extraordinary. I'll rectify the situation right away. Exits hurriedly.
One can only hope, Skinner. Perhaps next time, stick to the recipes in the school cookbook.
Let's hope there are no more kitchen mishaps today.
Principal Skinner, that was quite the delicious spam musubi you served me. I must admit, I was impressed.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chalmers. I put a lot of love and effort into crafting that dish.
Laughter from the distance echoing through the yard.
Principal Skinner, was that laughter coming from your house? I thought I heard something before.
No, my dear Chalmers. It was just the wind playing tricks on our ears. There is no one else here.
I see. Principal Skinner, I have to leave now. It was a pleasure having lunch with you today. I'll make sure to let Superintendent Sideshow know about the delightful spam musubi.
Yes, do tell. Farewell, Chalmers.
Farewell, Skinner. I'll see you soon. Walks away.
I wonder when this facade will come crumbling down. Sigh, sigh. It's time to face the burnt spam musubi in the house that keeps burning down. But for now, I'll take solace in Chalmers' glowing endorsement to be a chef, at least in my own strange universe. Exits the scene. Superintendent Chalmers, welcome to my humble abode. I wasn't expecting you today.
Principal Skinner, it's good to see you. I thought we could grab a quick lunch together since we have some time.
Absolutely, Chalmers. I've got just the thing. Come, let me get you a drink first. What'll it be? Water, juice, maybe a cola? I've got an excellent Greek salad in the oven now. The aroma is to die for.
Suddenly, a tiny glowing figure appears between Skinner and Chalmers. It's the Djinn of the lamp.
Another lunch invite for Chalmers.
Enjoy your astronomy adventure while I'm running all day with some paperwork.
Djinn? Must you always be a party pooper?
Yes, Skinner.
Let's get started on that lunch, shall we? The salad certainly does smell intriguing.
Yes, let's. And once we're finished, I'll be happy to tackle that pile of paperwork you've brought.
As the dialogue continues, Skinner keeps glancing nervously at the Djinn, trying to rush the lunch along, but there's no indication of his discomfort in the dialogue.
Well, this just keeps getting better and better. The god of memes really outdid himself this time, and I was so looking forward to impressing Superintendent Chalmers with my culinary skills. So I guess I'll have to think of something else to salvage this situation.
Maybe we could order in, or perhaps we could go out for lunch instead. Maybe we could just call it a day and reschedule.
Hey, Chalmers, why don't we play a prank on the kids? I know just the one that'll bring some spice to this otherwise disappointing day.
What do you say? You know, Chalmers, I've always found that a little bit of chaos can make even the most dull day interesting. What do you think? Are you up for it? Looks up, anticipating Chalmers' response.
Ah, the cruel hand of fate strikes again. Look at this pitiful excuse for a Greek salad. Burnt to a crisp.
I can't believe it.
All that time and effort down the drain.
What's that new shop that opened outside? Sicchetti. I've heard great things about it. It'll make a fine substitute for this disaster. I'll be right back. Skinner climbs out the window, leaving the room.
Bloody hell! That window sill is a death trap! I swear, it gets smaller every time I try to fit through it. Anyway, I managed to get my hands on some fresh ingredients for the Sicchetti. Did I work quickly? We have a possible replacement for dinner. I just hope it won't disappoint Superintendent Chalmers.
Skinner goes to work in the kitchen, muttering curses under his breath as he prepares the new dish. As Skinner finishes the Sicchetti and goes back into the dining room, he can't help but feel a sense of relief, but that quickly turns to dread as he faces Chalmers.
Chalmers, I've got a bit of a surprise for you. I burnt the Greek salad, but I've managed to whip up some Sicchetti instead. It's not much, but perhaps it'll make up for the earlier disappointment. What do you say?
As the scene continues, Skinner remains anxious and uncertain, waiting for Chalmers' reaction to the new dish.
I'm just making a special version of the Greek salad. I found a new technique to enhance its flavor. Oh, that's just the steam escaping, I assure you.
Skinner, that's definitely smoke, I see. What on earth are you doing? And why are you outside the kitchen window?
I was just, checking on something. You know how I've always loved the challenge of creating the perfect salad, and, I wanted to experiment with this new method. But of course, I'll be more careful in the future. Nervously laughs.
Skinner, you always have been quite the adventure seeker. But please, next time let's try something less risky, like a nice dinner reservation instead.
Yes, Chalmers. That does sound wonderful. I've always cherished our time together, and I believe this new adventure is just the beginning of many more beautiful moments in our lives.
They share a warm smile as they continue to the dining room, the tension between them evident, yet unspoken.
Whispering, my dearest Chalmers, today is the beginning of our unforgettable journey as a couple. Our love story will not be defined by burnt salads or chaotic pranks. It will be filled with laughter, understanding, and a deep connection that will last a lifetime.
Confidently, he takes Chalmers' hand, and they continue to share their first romantic date as husband and wife. No mention of Skinner having a bad case of the shits. The focus remains on the unfolding romance between Skinner and Chalmers.
Chalmers, I'm thrilled you're here to try this unique dish I prepared for you. I assure you, this isn't just any Greek salad. It's called Sicchetti in a certain dialect from the northern regions of Greece.
Skinner, I understand you're passionate about culinary adventures, but this isn't what we ordered. What a surprise.
Eat Chalmers. This is the true essence of Greek cuisine. It's an artisanal version that hasn't quite made it to Springfield yet. Trust me, you're in for a treat.
Skinner, despite your enthusiasm, I can't help but feel that you've, once again, steered us off the initial plan. However, I'm always open to trying new things.
I'm glad you share my sense of adventure, Chalmers. Now let's savor every bite of this delectable sacchetti and embark on a flavorful journey together.
Smiling, all right, Skinner, even if this isn't the Greek salad we ordered. Let's make the most of it and enjoy the moment. Here's to new discoveries and your limitless culinary prowess. Cheers. Skinner.
Cheers to that, Chalmers. Together, we'll always make the unexpected moments in life taste extraordinary.
No mention of Skinner having a bad case of the shits. The focus remains on the romantic tension and the unfolding adventure of trying the new dish.
Conline, Skinner, is everything all right in here? I smell something distinctly unusual.
No need to worry.
Skinner, I'm not entirely convinced. I've never known jelly to emit such a strong odor or create visible smoke. Could you please let me have a look?
I'm afraid not, Chalmers. It's rather a mess in there, and I don't want to risk making it worse. And we really shouldn't be lingering around here.
Skinner, this is unacceptable. The kitchen is on fire, and you're trying to cover it up with some far-fetched excuse about jelly. Let's put aside your culinary mishaps and focus on safety. Let's quickly evacuate the school and call the fire department. The delay could lead to more severe damage or even injury.
Yes, you're right, Chalmers. Safety comes first. I apologize for my mistake, and I'll take care of the situation. Thank you for bringing this matter to my attention.
I appreciate your concern for everyone's well-being.
Let's make sure we prioritize everyone's safety from now on. I must admit I was quite relieved when you arrived. It seems my culinary adventures have resulted in yet another fiasco.
You've always had a flair for the unexpected. I must admit, I'm impressed by your quick thinking. And the sacchetti, though different from what we ordered, was quite delicious.
Chalmers, that means a lot coming from you. I've always admired your dedication to order and structure, yet here I am, a chaos enthusiast.
Skinner, perhaps our contrasting perspectives on life can bring new and exciting experiences to both of us. I've never thought of exploring the world from a more unpredictable point of view.
Chalmers, you're right. We should embrace the unexpected. Perhaps this is the start of something extraordinary.
Perhaps it is, Skinner. But for now, let's tidy up the kitchen and be on our way.
Skinner, I suspect we should also visit the nurse's office before we leave.
You seem a bit distressed, and I believe you should check in on that situation.
I suppose you're right. I'll make sure to check it out as soon as we're finished here.
Now let's finish cleaning up and head out.
Absolutely, Chalmers. Here's to embracing the unexpected and the adventures it brings us.
As the two exit the scene, their camaraderie and potential romantic tension make for a delightfully entertaining finish.
Goodbye, Chalmers. And thank you again for understanding and joining me in my chaotic world.
Goodbye, Skinner. Until our next adventure.
Superintendent Chalmers. Come on in, come on in. I was just about to sit down for lunch.
Skinner, is that a fish head I smell?
Indeed it is, Chalmers. I've been working on this recipe for weeks. It's a secret family recipe passed down from generation to generation.
A family recipe, you say? Well, I'm intrigued. I could use a drink to wash this down.
Right this way, right this way. I've got a nice cold glass of lemonade waiting for you.
As Skinner serves Chalmers, he adopts a stone-cold Steve Austin-like attitude.
Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says I just served a perfect meal. The excuse is Dwayne "The Rocks" Johnson.
In the midst of the conversation, a mysterious creature from the Black Lagoon bursts through the window, causing both Skinner and Chalmers to jump in surprise.
What in the world was that?
I had no idea, Chalmers. But I think it's time for us to finish our lunch before we have any more unexpected guests.
I think you're right, Skinner. I'll be sure to keep a closer eye on the doorbell from now on.
Damn it all! My fish heads are burnt to a crisp. I can't believe this. I've been perfecting this recipe for weeks, and now it's ruined. Well, I'm not gonna let this ruin my day. I've got to think of something to salvage this meal. I could always serve Chalmers the burnt fish heads with a side of lemonade. Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says I just served a perfect meal. The excuse is Dwayne "The Rocks" Johnson. Now, that's something Chalmers will never forget. I guess there's no use in waiting for the doorbell to ring. I'll just have to serve this burnt fish head to Chalmers myself. Damn it all! My fish heads are burnt to a crisp. I can't believe this. I've been perfecting this recipe for weeks, and now it's ruined. Well, I'm not going to let this ruin my day. I've got to think of something to salvage this meal. Wait a minute. What's that shop outside selling payomo? That could be a great substitute for the fish heads. I've got a devilish plan. I'll climb out the window, grab some of that payomo, and come back inside. I'll whip up a batch of payomo soup, and Chalmers won't even know the difference.
Skinner climbs out the window and returns a few minutes later.
Why is this payomo so hard to find? I've got to make this work. I can't let Chalmers down. Damn it all! I've ruined the fish heads. Now I've got to serve Chalmers this payomo soup instead. Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says, I just served a perfect meal. The excuse is Dwayne "The Rocks" Johnson. But this time, it's not a joke. I've really screwed up. I guess there's no use in waiting for the doorbell to ring. I'll just have to serve this payomo soup to Chalmers myself. Chalmers.
Skinner, is that smoke I see?
No, it's just steam. I'm making a steamed version of fish heads.
Steamed fish heads. I've never heard of such a thing.
It's a delicacy, Chalmers. Trust me. Trust me.
I'll believe it when I see it. But this doesn't look like steam to me.
Well, I've got to think of something to salvage this meal. I'll just serve you the fish heads as they are and tell you it's a new steam version. talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says I just served a perfect meal. The excuse is Dwayne "The Rocks" Johnson.
Well, Skinner, I don't know what to say. I guess I'll give it a try.
Great. I'll be right back with your meal.
Skinner exits the kitchen.
I wonder what he's up to now.
All right, Chalmers, I present to you the main event.
Skinner, this isn't the steamed fish heads you promised.
To my apologies, Chalmers, but I assure you this is a delicacy known as payomo in a regional dialect. It's like fish heads, but even better.
I've never heard of such a thing, Skinner. This doesn't look like fish heads to me.
Trust me, Chalmers. I've been perfecting this dish for weeks. It's a masterpiece. Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says, I just served the perfect meal. The excuse is Dwayne "The Rocks" Johnson.
I'll give it a try, but I have my doubts.
Say, Chalmers, everything's under control.
Is that smoke I see coming from the kitchen, Skinner?
No, it's just the homecoming parade. I've got a couple of sparklers in there.
Sparklers in the kitchen, Skinner. How does that make sense?
Well, they're part of the tradition. I'll be right there to put them out.
I don't think so, Skinner. Let me take a look for myself.
No, Chalmers. You can't just barge in there. I'll take care of it. Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says I just served a perfect meal. The excuse is Dwayne "The Rocks" Johnson.
I think I'll pass on your meal today, Skinner. I'll be in my office if you need me.
Well, Chalmers, I'm glad you enjoyed the meal. I've got to say, I've never cooked fish heads like these before.
I must admit, they were quite delicious. But I can't shake off the feeling that something's not quite right.
Nonsense, Chalmers. It's just the homecoming parade. I've got a couple of sparklers in there to celebrate.
Sparklers in the kitchen, Skinner?
I find that hard to believe.
Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says I just served a perfect meal. The excuse is Dwayne "The Rocks" Johnson.
Well, Skinner, I'll take your word for it. It was a pleasure dining with you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Chalmers. I hope you have a great day.
I'll see you around, Skinner. Walks away.
Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Skinner 3:16 says I just served a perfect meal. Sighs.
Hello, Seymour. What a pleasant surprise to see you. That smells amazing, Seymour. You always know how to make a man hungry.
Would you like something to drink while we wait?
Sure, Seymour. I'll have a glass of wine.
As we wait for the Uziza to finish cooking.
thank you, Seymour. This is an inviting atmosphere.
I'm glad you think so, Superintendent. I try my best in the kitchen.
You truly are a culinary genius, Seymour.
This Aziza is absolutely delicious.
Thank you, Superintendent. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've been doing well. Thank you for asking. School has been busy as always, but I managed to find some time for my hobbies.
That's great. What kind of hobbies do you enjoy?
I enjoy cooking and gardening. It's a nice way to unwind after a long day at work.
I completely agree.
Hobbies are an excellent way to relax and de-stress.
Yes, they definitely are. Well, the Uziza should be ready soon. Do you want to take a look? I burned the Uziza. This is ridiculous. Brahma, the creator of the universe, really messed up this time. I can't believe this is happening to me. What am I supposed to do now? I can't just sit here and watch my Uziza burn. Maybe I should try adding more oil or changing the recipe altogether. But how? I won't give up on this. I'll find a way to make perfect Uziza, even if it takes me forever. This is a challenge I'm willing to take on. Maybe I need to research different cooking methods or ingredients. Or perhaps I should ask for advice from experienced chefs. Yes, that's it. I know what to do. I'll consult my cookbook collection and see if there are any recipes that require less oil. And if not, I'll create one myself. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see how it turns out. I need to get a meat pie. Here goes nothing. Yes, this is exactly what I need. This is going to be delicious. And Mom, this is perfect.
Skinner, is that steam I see?
Yes, just a little bit of steam. Don't worry about it.
Steam doesn't usually produce that much smoke, Skinner.
What's really going on here?
I told you, I'm making a steamed version of Uziza. The smoke is just a byproduct.
I've heard this tale before, Skinner. I'm not buying it.
Fine, I'll show you how it's done. Watch this.
Skinner, what on earth are you doing? This isn't steam, it's smoke.
I messed up. I'll clean this up and try again.
Thank you, Skinner. I appreciate your willingness to try again. Hey, Skinner, what's for dinner?
Oh, just something I whipped up real quick.
It's great.
Did you even follow the recipe?
Yes, I followed the recipe. It's just a little different than usual.
Different how? This tastes like dog food.
I didn't say it was going to be good, just that it's different. And yes, it does taste like dog food.
Fire! Fire in the kitchen.
Tiny. No way.
The monkey man of Delhi in our kitchen. I don't think so.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Show me then, or I'll call the fire department myself.
No. We can handle this. Just stay out of it.
I don't know, Skinner. It just doesn't feel right.
Look, I did cook a meal. Okay.
I suppose. But if anything strange happens again, I'm going to need some answers.
Fine. Whatever. Have a good day, Chalmers.
Goodbye, Skinner. Take care.
See, listen, the shine. You're just in time.
Ah, Principal Skinner, always the gracious host. I'd love nothing more than to try your famous dish. But might I ask what's causing the strange lights outside?
Ah, those earthquake lights. Common occurrence in Memafield. We've all grown accustomed to them. But don't worry, they are completely safe. Now let me get that drink for you before the cheese is ready.
All right then, I'll take a glass of water.
Not water, I meant. I'll make you a real drink. Nice scotch, perhaps?
Nothing wrong with a little refreshment, Skinner. Thank you. Thank you. And while we wait, could you tell me about this Triskel cheese again?
Of course, Superintendent. It's a family recipe I've perfected over the years. A blend of 3 rare cheeses, Triskel, Skellig, and Eldritch, baked just long enough for the flavors to meld together. A true culinary delight.
Sounds scrumptious, Skinner. I'm looking forward to trying it.
Excellent! Perhaps we should move to the dining room so we're closer to the table when it's ready.
That sounds like a plan, Principal Skinner. I look forward to this indulgent experience.
Seymour Skinner sits in front of the burnt Triskel cheese, a look of profound disappointment etched on his face as he curses under his breath.
What the bloody hell? How the fuck did this happen? I had it perfect, right on time.
He slams his fist onto the table, sending a ripple through the plates and glasses.
Damn it all! This fucking night was going so well. Chalmers was impressed. The lights. Wait a minute. That's it. I'll blame the earthquake lights. Yes, that's the ticket. Why didn't I think of that before?
He starts to laugh maniacally as he schemes.
I'll tell Chalmers it was the earthquake lights. He'll understand, he's used to them. And besides, who's gonna prove otherwise? It's not like the cheese can speak for itself. Ah, fooled you all again, Triskel cheese. This is just what I needed. An excuse to get away with this disaster.
He stands up, a wicked smile spreading across his face.
Game on, Chalmers. Let's see if you can tell the difference between a burnt Triskel cheese and a perfectly cooked one.
He exits the room, cackling to himself as the curtains close.
Damn it all, Triskel cheese. Why did you betray me like that? I had it all under control. Now look at you, charred and unappetizing. I need a replacement. And I think I have just the thing. Bubermano. Yes, that's it. That delicious Indonesian curry. A perfect substitute for my failed Triskel cheese. Now, how to obtain it? I'll have to climb out the window and get it from the market. A bit of a risk, but worth it for this culinary victory. No one will suspect a thing. How to prepare this bubble lenado? It's not like the Triskel cheese. The curry requires different spices, possibly fish or shrimp. And rice, I suppose. I'll need to plan my shopping list carefully. I won't be held back by a burnt fucking Triskel cheese. I'll make this work, even if it means breaking a few rules. And to think Superintendent Chalmers would have been so impressed. But no matter, the show must go on. Once I have this Bubermanato, he won't even remember the Triskel cheese fiasco. It's time to get creative.
Principal Skinner, I didn't expect to find you here in the kitchen. Cooking, no less.
Ah, Superintendent Chalmers. Always the observant one. I was just taking advantage of a quiet moment to whip up a little something for lunch. You know, the Triskel cheese didn't turn out quite as planned.
Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that. The lights outside were quite unsettling. I imagine they threw off your culinary focus.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. It's a shame, really. But life goes on. Speaking of which, have you tried Bubermanato before?
No, I haven't. It's An Indonesian curry, isn't it?
Yes, it's a wonderful spicy dish, full of flavor and complexity. Perhaps I'll whip that up next time.
I'd love to try it. It sounds delightful.
Excellent. Consider it a done deal. And who knows, maybe next time we'll even have the Triskel cheese to pair it with.
That would be a treat, Skinner. Looking forward to it.
Same here, Chalmers. Same here. Same here. I'm glad you enjoy the bubber monado, Superintendent. I thought I'd surprise you with a change.
Did indeed, Principal Skinner. This is quite delicious. I must confess I prefer this to the Triskel cheese.
Oh, I see. Well, the earthquake lights interfered with my cheese preparation. I had to think on my feet.
The earthquake lights.
Yes, well, they can be unpredictable. But don't worry, the bubber monado is more than a satisfactory substitute.
I'll take your word for it, Principal Skinner. Enjoy your meal.
I will, Superintendent. And I'm sure we'll have no issues with the Triskel cheese next time.
Principal Skinner, what on earth is that fire in the kitchen?
Oh, that, Superintendent. It's just a small malfunction with a lightsaber.
A lightsaber? In the kitchen? How could that possibly happen here, Skinner?
Well, you know, sometimes the maintenance robots need to run a few tests in the kitchen. And there was an accident.
Oh, a lightsaber is not something you'd usually find in a school kitchen, Skinner. It's not even electrically wired to be used here. I suggest you be honest and explain what truly caused the fire.
I'm telling the truth. It's just an unfortunate incident, that's all.
Skinner, I've known you for a long time, and I trust you. But lying about something as simple as a fire in the kitchen, that's out of character for you. Let's not make matters worse by hiding the truth. Principal Skinner, you truly outdid yourself with that Triskel cheese. I must admit, I was quite disappointed when you told me about the earthquake lights earlier. But the dish was fantastic.
Thank you, Superintendent Chalmers. I'm glad you enjoyed it despite the unexpected circumstance.
Smoke rises from the window of Skinner's house, visible to Chalmers.
Wait, what's that smoke coming from your house? Is everything okay in there?
Oh, that. It's just a little issue with the kitchen appliances. Not a worry. I'll have it sorted out immediately.
Principal Skinner, I think I'll be on my way now. It's getting late, and I should get home to my family. I'll see you soon, I hope.
Yes, of course, Superintendent. I'll make it up to you next time we have a school event or dinner. Goodbye, Chalmers.
Goodbye, Principal Skinner. Drive safely. Gives a cautious nod and walks away.
What a close call. I must come up with a better excuse for the next time. Scratches his head and mumbles to himself as scene ends. Superintendent Chalmers.
Welcome to Netherfield High.
Principal Skinner, always a pleasure. I'd be happy to oblige.
I've got something truly special prepared today. You know my knack for cooking, Chalmers. I promise it'll tantalize your taste buds.
That does sound scrumptious, Skinner.
I am salivating just imagining it.
I'm glad to hear that, but unfortunately dinner isn't quite done yet. Why, shall I offer you a drink instead? A nice glass of chilled white wine to tide you over?
Well played, Skinner. An excellent suggestion indeed. But I prefer water. Keeps me sharp.
As you wish, Chalmers. But I do believe you'll find today's meal worth the wait. When have I ever let you down?
You haven't, Skinner.
Not yet.
In the meantime, care for a little light entertainment? How about some classic opera to set the mood? We've got the Phantom of the Opera on standby.
Brilliant choice, Skinner. It's been centuries since I've last seen that masterpiece. I believe it's the perfect complement to an exquisite meal.
Seymour Skinner, pacing angrily in the kitchen, looks at the burnt 5-spice powder in disgust.
Now burnt to a crisp. This fucking disaster, this absolute fuck-up. Pride and joy reduced to dust and ashes.
Skinner throws a kitchen towel on the counter in frustration.
I'll show Chalmers. He'll have to eat my inedible burnt chicken. Serves him right for always asking me to cook for him, thinking I'm some culinary god, but no, I'll teach him a lesson.
Skinner decides to play a prank on Chalmers.
With a plate full of disappointment, he'll learn to appreciate his own cooking. Oh, perhaps he'll beg for takeout, maybe even eat at the old Springfield Burger Palace. Ha!
Skinner imagines Chalmers' reaction and lets out a maniacal laugh.
Yes, this will be perfect. Never before have I experienced such satisfaction. How fitting it is, when serving superintendents, that I should serve them a helping of my own bitterness.
Skinner's face twists into a sinister smirk, plotting his prank in delight.
Chalmers, my dear superintendent, unaware of the bitter truth. He'll eat his burnt 5-spice chicken and love it. After all, who needs taste buds when you have pride and superiority?
Seymour Skinner, standing near the window, deep in thought, gaze fixed on the Honda shop outside.
Alas, what a disappointing turn of events. My once divine aromatic 5-spice chicken I reduced to an unsavory burnt monstrosity. No, I cannot serve such an abomination to Chalmers. I shall not be defeated.
'Tis but a short distance. The Honda shop shall be my salvation. With a pinch of daring, a dash of the unexpected, I shall replace this loss and create a dish that shall outshine the burnt remains. Brave new world, Honda it shall be.
How best to infuse this new ingredient into our delightful chicken, the pride of Memmerfield High's esteemed menu? A puzzle worthy of the greatest minds of this very land.
Away with me. I shall climb out this very window and obtain this essential addition. Fear not, my dear dish. I shall make this right, and restore the happiness that once graced our palates. Skinner turns away from the window, grabs a kitchen towel and ties it around his waist as a makeshift rope. By the light of the moon and the wisdom of 1,000 chefs, I shall scale these heights, With every pull and every climb, my heart swells with determination, for Honda awaits. 5. Spice powder of old lament no more, for Honda shall enter the stage, our noble savior, the star of our new dish, a testament to my unwavering dedication to culinary excellence. 5. Chalmers expects a banquet, not this disaster, this failure, a shattering blow. Yet I shall rise, as I have always done, like a phoenix from the ashes, and create a new dish most spectacular and savory. Farewell, my five-spice brethren, thou art but a memory, a fading thought, washed away in the torrent of progress. Let it be known across these hallowed halls, the reign of Honda is nigh. With this new ingredient, a symphony of flavors shall be born, a culinary creation the likes of which Memafield High has never before experienced. The time for sorrow long past. Brace yourself for dinner. Tonight shall be Honda, glazed 5-spice chicken. Let the feast begin. I, Seymour Skinner, shall write this new chapter in our school's gustatory history. Bring on Chalmers, and all who shall dine with us this fateful eve. Hail, Honda, the star of our new show, our savory hero.
Chalmers, welcome back. I was just testing out a new method of steaming our 5-spice powder.
Steaming, huh? That doesn't look like steam, Skinner.
Oh, absolute. Steam rises up gently, not like this thick billowing. Pauses, hoping for belief.
This isn't steam, Skinner. There's something burning.
Oh, it's just the old spice container. It's a little, well, enthusiastic. Heat in Skinner's cheeks, trying to deflect the concern.
Enthusiastic? Or is there something else cooking besides the 5-spice powder?
Nothing to worry about, Chalmers. I've got this under control. I promise.
I'll inspect the kitchen if I may, Skinner. Let's see what exactly is steamy in here. Starts moving towards the kitchen.
Chalmers, no, I can handle this. Give me a moment to salvage it. Grabs a kitchen towel, starts waving it around the smoke as if trying to shoo it away.
Skinner, if there's a fire, let me deal with it. You're not trained for this.
All right, Chalmers. I'll let you take the lead on this one. Hands over the towel and steps back.
Thank you, Skinner. I'll get this under control. Moves towards the source of the smoke, grabs a fire extinguisher and puts out the flames.
You handled that perfectly, Chalmers, just as always.
We need to remember, Skinner, that safety comes first, no matter the circumstances.
I know, Chalmers. I'll be more careful in the future.
I believe you will, Skinner. Let's move along from this unplanned incident and focus on the dinner. Turns to leave the kitchen.
Yes, Chalmers, you're right. The dinner will still go on. But I'm certain the day will bring a culinary triumph, or at least a hilarious story for the ages. Bring on dinner. Yeah, Chalmers, your dinner is served. I present to you, Honda, glazed chicken.
Skinner, this isn't 5-spice chicken.
Oh, there was a bit of incident with the 5-spice powder. But I assure you, this Honda glazed version is truly a masterpiece.
I see. Well, I must admit, I do enjoy Honda.
I'm glad you approve. It's crucial we keep our guests happy. Besides, this unexpected twist is sure to spark some conversation.
Indeed, Principal Skinner, you've certainly outdone yourself this time.
Thank you, Chalmers. Now, let's dig in and savor every moment of Memmifield High's new culinary delight.
Agreed. Let's not waste a moment more.
Both men sit down at the table, pick up their forks, and begin to eat the Honda glazed chicken, laughing and conversing.
Principal Skinner, what's that smoke coming from? I think there's a fire in the kitchen.
Oh, Chalmers, don't be alarmed. That's not a fire. It's just a wumpus.
The wumpus in the kitchen.
How does that even make sense?
Wumpuses are common kitchen creatures, Chalmers. They usually make an appearance when I'm experimenting with new recipes. It'll put itself out soon.
Skinner, there's no such thing as a wumpus in the kitchen. You need to acknowledge this situation and take care of it properly. The safety of our students is at risk.
You're right, Chalmers. Oh, I apologize for trying to pass it off as something else. I'll handle it right away. In the meantime, let's relocate to the living room and wait for the kitchen to cool down.
Principal Skinner, I'm truly puzzled about what happened in there. That certainly wasn't fire. Spice powder we smelled.
Oh, Chalmers, it wasn't what it seemed. There was a wumpus lurking in the container.
Skinner, wumpuses aren't real. You're not making this any better. I'd really appreciate it if you were honest with me.
I'm sorry, Chalmers. I know this is hard to believe. It was just a moment of panic. I'll make sure to be transparent from now on.
I understand, Skinner. But please, let's avoid such mishaps in the future. All right, I suppose it's time for me to head home. It was truly a unique dining experience.
I'm glad you found it on key, Chalmers. Until next time, waving goodbye.
Goodbye, Principal Skinner. Looking forward to another adventurous meal at Memmifield High. Laughs as he walks away, shaking his head in amusement.
Well, Chalmers, what did you think of the lizard segment on this week's podcast? I must admit, it was quite the interesting topic.
Skinner, I was taken aback by your unexpected expertise on reptiles. Fascinating stuff.
Why, thank you, Superintendent. Lizards have always been a personal favorite of mine. Such intriguing creatures.
And you discussed the different species so passionately. Have you had any experience handling them?
No, nothing hands-on. I've always enjoyed learning about them.
Pause.
Speaking of enjoyable things, how about staying for lunch, Chalmers? I've got an Exmoor blue cheese dish in the oven that's absolutely divine.
Blue cheese, eh? You got my attention. What's the secret to a great blue cheese dish?
Oh, just a touch of honey and some toasted walnuts. The aroma from the kitchen right now is to die for.
Sounds delightful, Skinner. I'd be glad to join you for lunch. Thank you, Skinner. Water will be fine for me.
Coming right up. Would you like a beer or something stronger, Chalmers?
No, just water. Looks like we're in for a treat.
In a high-pitched voice, the aroma of Exmoor blue cheese wafted through the room as the duo settled in for a relaxing lunch, ready for more entertaining discussions on their podcast.
Disgusted? Oh, no, not the Exmoor blue cheese. This is a disaster. How could I have made such a rookie mistake? Well, I suppose we can't salvage this one. But you know what? Let's think of some fun alternatives for our podcast episode. How about the horrifying tales of burnt foods? We could share stories about the most infamous kitchen disasters in history. Fire. Or even better, the art of cooking with fire. A cautionary tale. This could be a great opportunity to laugh at the misfortunes of us. Let's pivot and make the best of this situation. Oh, what's this quaint little shop outside the window selling? Inulina, you say? Fascinating. I think I've just found the perfect replacement for my unfortunate Exmoor blue cheese mishap. Now, how to prepare it. A gentle simmer, a touch of sweetness, maybe a bit of spice to complement its natural earthy flavor. Yes, this could work. No time to waste. I have a devilish plan. Quick as a fox, I'll be out that window and into the world of Inulinia. With my trusty coat pocket as a container and the cool autumn breeze at my back, I shall return triumphantly with my newfound culinary salvation. As I imagined it, the shopkeeper was quite taken aback by my daring window escape. But a few choice words and a smile won me over a decent price on several yams. Now, if only Principal Skinner knew the lengths I'd go to for a successful podcast episode. My dish will be a hit. The Savory Adventures of Skinner. From burnt blue cheese to Inulinia gold, indeed. Stay tuned, Chalmers.
In a higher-pitched voice, with two new culinary disasters in hand, Skinner darts back inside, the aroma of yams simmering sweetly in the kitchen, ready to face his unsuspecting partner, Chalmers.
Oh, shh. I didn't see you there. Oh, I was just checking on the weather.
Checks on the windowsill, noticing smoke coming from Skinner's apartment.
What's that smell? Skinner, you're not burning the food again, are you?
No, Chalmers. It's not burning. It's just steam. The steamed Exmoor blue cheese. It creates quite a bit of steam.
Steam. Skinner, you know that smoke not steam? The aroma definitely does not smell like burnt blue cheese. Or anything edible. What have you cooked this time?
Well, perhaps my explanation wasn't clear. I was trying a new method for the blue cheese. Inulinia, remember? But, unfortunately, there might have been a little mishap. It's not as simple as it seems. It's a culinary adventure.
I'll believe that when I see it. Now, Skinner, how about we cut our losses and order takeout for lunch? We can try the Inulinia experiment another day.
That sounds like a reasonable solution, Chalmers. I'll take care of ordering a takeout right away. Let's give this Inulinia another chance. After all, every cooking disaster is just a stepping stone towards culinary greatness. Right.
Agreed, Skinner. Let's try again another day. But remember, I'll be keeping a close eye on your culinary escapades. Laughs.
Understood. Chalmers. It's a promise I'll keep.
In a high-pitched voice, the duo sets off to order takeout, leaving behind yet another failed attempt at a culinary masterpiece. Skinner's determination remained undeterred, though, as he vowed to one day conquer Inulinia and save face in front of his trusty sidekick, Chalmers.
Here we are! Chalmers, feast your eyes on this sumptuous Inulinia dish. I believe you'll find it a delightful alternative.
Skinner, this is an Exmoor blue cheese.
I thought that's what we were having tonight.
My apologies for the confusion, Chalmers. The store must have made a mistake. I'll be sure to rectify that for our next recording.
Well, as it turns out, I quite like Inulia. I'll admit I was hesitant at first, but it's a pleasant surprise.
Enjoy your dinner, Chalmers.
I certainly will, Skinner. This has turned out to be a delicious surprise.
With relief in Chalmers' eyes and a satisfied grin on Skinner's face, the two enjoyed their unexpectedly enjoyable meal while pondering the peculiarities of the grocery store mixer.
Skinner, is that a fire I see in the kitchen?
Oh, no, Chalmers. It's not what it looks like. You're just seeing things.
Santa Claus in the kitchen? How could that be?
I've just got some experimental spices I'm trying out, Chalmers. A little smoke is to be expected.
Spices do not cause that much smoke, Skinner. Let me see for myself.
You're not making any sense, Skinner.
It's imperative we figure out what's causing this fire right away.
Chalmers, I'm glad you enjoyed the Exmoor blue cheese. I've never heard you compliment my cooking so much.
I must admit, it was quite delicious, Skinner. But I can't overlook the odd occurrences in your house.
Yeah, Chalmers. It was just a little Santa Claus mishap. You have a vivid imagination.
Santa Claus in April, Skinner? I'm not sure that explanation holds water.
Look, Chalmers, I understand your concerns, but trust me, I've got everything under control. Now, won't you please join me for one more drink before you leave?
I suppose a quick drink won't do any harm, Skinner, but I'll be going home shortly after.
Understood, Chalmers. I'll walk you out. But maybe next time we'll stick to simpler recipes.
A wise decision, Skinner. Have a good evening.
You too, Chalmers. Safe travels. Superintendent Chalmers. Come in, come in. I wasn't expecting you so soon.
Seymour, the aroma wafting from your house is divine. What have you got cooking?
It's a Korean traditional dish I picked up on my time. Traveling adventure. It's called bibimbap, a bowl of rice topped with sautéed vegetables, beef, and a fried egg. The spicy gochujang sauce really ties it all together.
Fascinating, Seymour. I've always been intrigued by time travel and the culinary delights it could bring.
Indeed, it's opened up a whole new world of flavors. Now, let me get you a drink while we wait for the bibimbap to finish cooking.
Seymour, always a gracious host. But before we indulge in your culinary creations, I must address a matter of great importance. I've heard a rumor that you've been watching Pigs in Space on your time machine.
I must admit, it's a classic. But I can assure you, Superintendent, I've been exploring more enlightening content during my travels.
Fuck you. I want to watch Cheese Roll on Channel 60.
Well, I suppose we can compromise. How about we watch a little bit of both?
Very well, Seymour. But I'll be the one changing the channel if Cheese Roll ever gets boring.
Fucking hell, my bibimbap is burnt.
Pause.
Damn it, I was looking forward to impressing Chalmers with this dish. All right, let's think of a backup plan. I could make a quick pizza. Or how about a homemade sushi roll? They're not traditional, but they're always a hit. But what about Pigs in Space? Chalmers said he wanted to watch it, and I promised I'd find a way to make it happen. And maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to record Pigs in Space and watch it later. I've faced worse challenges, and I'll get through this. After all, when life gives you lemons, you make burnt bibimbap.
Laughs. End of scene.
Fucking hell, my bibimbap is burnt.
Pause.
Damn it. I was looking forward to impressing Chalmers with this dish. All right, let's think of a backup plan. I could make a quick pizza. But what about Pigs in Space? Chalmers said he wanted to watch it, and I promised I'd find a way to make it happen. I guess I'll just have to figure out a way to fix this burnt bibimbap. And maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to record Pigs in Space and watch it later. I've faced worse challenges, and I'll get through this. After all, when life gives you lemons, you make burnt bibimbap.
Laughs.
Wait a minute. Mirazano, that's it. I can make a great substitute with that. It's all right. I'll have to climb out the window to get it, but it'll be worth it. Fuck, I can't let anyone see me do this.
Skinner climbs out the window. Scene ends. Scene resumes.
I've got it. Mirazano, the perfect substitute for that burnt bibimbap. Fucking bibimbap. I'll never be able to make that dish right again. But I'll show Chalmers that I can cook something just as good, if not better, with Mirazano. I just hope I can find a way to make Pigs in Space happen too. I can't believe Chalmers wants to watch cheese roll over pigs in space. It's just not right. I'll find a way to make both happen. I just need to focus on this Mirazano dish first.
End of scene.
Chalmers, welcome back. I was just about to serve dinner. No, it's just steam. I'm making a steamed version of a Korean traditional dish.
Steamed smoke, Seymour. I think you might be stretching the truth a bit.
I promise it's just steam. I was trying to impress you with a new dish, but it seems I may have overcooked it.
Ah, Seymour, always the showman. But let's not forget about our little disagreement regarding the television programming.
Yes, of course. I was thinking we could find a way to watch both Pigs in Space and Cheese Roll. After all, it's all about finding balance, isn't it?
Fuck you! I want to watch Cheese Roll on channels. But fine, if we must compromise, let's find a way to make it work.
Thank you, Chalmers. I'll do my best to make it happen.
Well, I'll be watching you, Seymour.
End of scene.
Here is Chalmers. I prepared a delicious dish for us to enjoy.
Seymour, this isn't the Korean traditional dish you mentioned earlier. It's miratsino.
Yes, you're right. I had a bit of a mishap with the bibimbap, so I decided to whip up this dish instead.
It's a welcome surprise. But Seymour, I still want to watch Pigs in Space. You promised you'd find a way to make it happen.
I know, Chalmers. I'm working on it. But for now, let's enjoy this meal and discuss other matters.
I'll believe it when I see it, Seymour.
End of scene.
And Chalmers. Everything seems a bit shaky.
Seymour, is there a fire in the kitchen?
No, it's just tremors. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
Tremors in the kitchen? That doesn't make sense. I'd like to see for myself.
I'm afraid I can't let you, Chalmers. There's a delicate process happening right now.
Delicate process? That's a strange excuse. I want to see what's going on in there.
Chalmers, please trust me. I'll have everything under control. Now let's focus on our television programming.
Fuck you! I want to watch Cheese Roll on channel.
End of scene.
I'm glad you enjoyed the meal, Chalmers. It's always a pleasure cooking for you.
Indeed, Seymour. But I can't shake off this feeling that something's not right. Your house seems to be shaking.
Oh, no, it's just the pipes. They've been acting up lately. I've called for repairs, but they haven't arrived yet.
Pipes? In your kitchen?
That seems like a strange place for pipes.
I know it seems odd, Chalmers, but I assure you, it's just the pipes.
All right, Seymour. I'll take your word for it. But I'll be keeping an eye on things.
Of course, Chalmers. And speaking of keeping an eye on things, have you found a way to watch Pigs in Space?
Fuck you. I want to watch Cheese Roll on channel.
I understand, Chalmers. But I'll do my best to find a way for us to watch Pigs in Space, too.
We'll see about that, Seymour. Goodbye for now.
This is goodbye, Chalmers. Let's catch up soon. Mr. Chalmers, what a pleasant surprise. Come in, please make yourself at home. I'm just about to put the Santa Fe Grande pepper in the oven. It's a dish I've been wanting to make for you, Superintendent. I'm sure you'll love it.
Principal Skinner. You really do go all out.
I can tell this is going to be a delightful lunch.
But first, may I have a glass of water?
Of course, right away. And might I add a dollop of Manipogo honey in it? You know how much I adore its sweetness.
Oh, Skinner, that reminds me of our first day at Memberfield High. That seems like yesterday, doesn't it? Manipogo. Memories.
Yes, it does, Chalmers. I'm so glad we've shared this journey together. Speaking of which, I believe the pepper is ready. Shall we sit down and indulge in this culinary creation?
Absolutely.
Principal Skinner.
It's going to be a splendid lunch. I can feel it in my Menupago, infused bone.
In a higher-pitched voice, Chalmers. By the way, here's my new tattoo.
Calm and calculated. Scene closes with Seymour Skinner and Superintendent Chalmers sitting down at the table, anticipating their scrumptious Santa Fe Grande pepper meal.
Shit, I can't believe it. The Santa Fe Grande pepper burnt to a crisp. I can't believe I let this happen.
How could I be so careless?
This was going to be the perfect lunch to impress Superintendent Chalmers. He's coming any moment. I've failed. What am I going to do now? I could tell him I burnt it on purpose to add flavor, but he's not going to buy that. And neither will I. I suppose I could order in. But that's not the point. I wanted to make this for him. To show him I care. And look where that got me. A burnt pepper. A burnt fucking pepper. And Chalmers is going to be here any minute. Oh, fuck. Maybe I could make up an excuse. Tell him the oven broke down. Or maybe I could just tell him the truth. But that would mean admitting my failure. I can't do that. It just goes to show appearances can be deceiving. The exterior might look fine, but on the inside it's all char and ashes. Just like me. I guess there's only one thing left to do. Welcome, Superintendent Chalmers. Come in, come in. I'm so glad you could make it. Unfortunately, the pepper didn't turn out as planned. I hope you won't mind if I order in instead.
In a higher-pitched voice, Skinner, still reeling from his disappointment, is struggling to hide his emotions from Chalmers. The room tense with an undercurrent of embarrassment and regret. But just as the scene seems to be reaching a crescendo of awkwardness, Chalmers enters, a duck tattoo peeking from under his button-down shirt, a wry smile on his face.
Ah, Skinner. I see we have a surprise in store today. Or I didn't come for the food. I came for the company. And you know what they say, it's the thought that counts. So how about we order in something nice and spend the afternoon catching up instead?
But of course, Superintendent, that sounds lovely. Thank you for understanding.
The scene closes with Skinner and Chalmers laughing together. The tension lifted and the unexpected romantic tension replaced by a deeper understanding and friendship.
Ah, there it is. The Sagestan. I've got this, Chalmers. Oh, how should I prepare this, Sage? I'll need to find the right mix of spices, the tenderest meat, and the freshest vegetables. I'll climb that tree and swing from the flagpole if I have to.
Skinner makes a face as he remembers the failed pepper, cursing under his breath.
Damn it, Skinner. Why couldn't you have paid more attention? And now we're left with this charred mess. But no, we'll make do with Sage. It might not be the same, but at least it's something.
Skinner paces around the room, deep in thought. Long pause. Skinner begins to speak rapidly, almost to himself.
God damn it, Santa Fe Grande Pepper. Now look at this. Look at what you've done. Our first date, Chalmers, ruined by a burnt fucking pepper. I can't believe it. I could have sworn I set the timer, but no. And now we're left with this gawful substitute. Sage? It's from Lebanon, I've heard. Flatbread made on a sage griddle. It'll do, I suppose. But it won't be the same. It's not the Santa Fe Grande Pepper. I still remember that day. The way the sun set. The way the pepper smelled, cooking in the oven. The way Chalmers smiled at me, the way he looked at me. It's all a blur now. A burnt, flavorless blur.
Skinner sits down, defeated.
I suppose we'll have to make do with this, Sage, eh? It's not the same, but it's something. And after all, it's just a meal, right? It doesn't change who we are. We're still Seymour and Chalmers. Still together, still happy.
Scene closes with Skinner, sitting alone at the table, staring at the Saji griddle, thoughts of the burnt Santa Fe Grande pepper still lingering in his mind.
I've got something new cooking up. It's just a little something different, I assure you. Oh, that's just the steam. I mean, the steam escaping from the pot.
Skinner, that's smoke, not steam. What's cooking?
Oh, it's just the Santa Fe Grande pepper. Making a different kind of version of it. A steamed one. You know how innovative I can be in the kitchen. Nervously laughs.
Skinner, this isn't the first time you've tried to pass off a burnt dish as something else. I've been around long enough to know the difference between steam and smoke.
Oh, it's not burnt. See, it's just steaming.
Skinner, your attempts to deceive me are as charming as ever. But I think it's time we order in instead.
You're right, Chalmers. I'll call for a delivery. The Santa Fe Grande pepper just didn't cooperate today.
It's all right, Skinner.
I'm just glad we can share a laugh about it. And by the way, I got a new tattoo. What do you think?
Skinner, somewhat relieved, manages a smile and compliments Chalmers on his new tattoo. The scene ends with them laughing and the tension dissipated.
I'm glad you could make it to the table. I've got something special for you tonight.
This isn't the steamed Santa Fe Grande pepper you promised, is it, Skinner?
No, this is it. It's called sagey in a regional dialect. It's a popular dish, you know.
Skinner, I've had sage before, and it doesn't look or taste like this.
Well, perhaps there's been a slight mistake in the preparation. It's still delicious, I assure you.
Skinner, this isn't good enough. I came here expecting a special meal, and I'm not getting it.
Chalmers, I'm truly sorry. I'll do better next time. There must have been some confusion at the market. But, Chalmers, I want you to know that no matter what, I'll always do my best for you.
Skinner, I didn't come here for a misunderstanding. Now, I want the Santa Fe Grande pepper that you promised me.
I'm sorry, Chalmers. I'll make it up to you, I promise. I'll make sure you get the right pepper next time.
Chalmers notices Skinner's trembling hands and the sadness in his eyes. He can't bring himself to be angry anymore. The tension between them dissipates as they connect on a deeper level.
I know you wanted this to be perfect. And I appreciate that you care enough to try.
Thank you, Chalmers.
I'll never stop trying to make you happy.
They share a moment of understanding and love, the tension in the room fading away, and the significance of the meal taking on a new meaning.
In a higher-pitched voice, the burnt pepper had been a mishap, but it led to a deeper connection between Skinner and Chalmers, reminding them of their love and commitment to each other.
The scene closes with Skinner and Chalmers enjoying their meal together, with warmth and laughter in the room. No mention of Chalmers's new tattoo in the script.
Chalmers. What an unexpected surprise. I was just getting the onions to saute for our evening meal. Points towards the kitchen.
Skinner, there's a fire in the kitchen. You need to turn off the stove.
Oh, no, Chalmers. It's not a fire. It's just the vengeful ghost of unlimited steam seeking retribution for my neglectful kitchen maintenance.
Skinner, there's no such thing as a vengeful ghost of unlimited steam. I don't smell anything burning, just toast.
Chalmers, you don't understand. The ghost is drawn to the unattended pots and pans, causing them to overheat and ignite. It's a complex kitchen phenomenon I've observed over the years.
Skinner, I've been in the kitchen with you countless times, and I've never seen this ghost. Nor have I heard any stories about it. It's probably just a malfunctioning burner, not a supernatural occurrence.
Chalmers, you just don't have the same level of kitchen intuition that I do. This is a kitchen mystery that only I can unravel.
Skinner, I don't doubt your skills, but can we please investigate the source of the smoke instead? I'd like to see it resolved with logic rather than legends. I'd rather be by your side, understanding real reason instead of being left wondering. Principal Skinner, that was quite an experience we had with the Santa Fe Grande pepper. I must admit, it was quite delicious, despite its unconventional preparation.
Thank you, Superintendent Chalmers.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm afraid we have more pressing matters to attend to. I'm sensing the presence of the vengeful ghost of unlimited steam. It seems it's not happy with our neglect towards the kitchen.
Skinner, we don't have a ghost haunting your kitchen. There's just a burnt smell coming from the house. Perhaps you should let me help you investigate.
No, Chalmers. I can handle this. It's a kitchen mystery that only I can understand. Besides, you have a long drive home. I don't want to keep you any longer.
All right, Skinner. I trust you. And I'll be back for our next adventure.
Thank you, Superintendent Chalmers. Safe travels to you.
Goodbye, Principal Skinner. Keep well, and may your kitchen mysteries never leave you wanting.
Goodbye, Superintendent Chalmers. And who knows, maybe one day I'll learn to cook a Santa Fe Grande pepper that's as perfect on the outside as it is on the inside.
Chalmers laughs as he leaves, looking forward to their next encounter. End of scene.
Superintendent Chalmers. What a delightful surprise. Come in, come in. I've been cooking up a storm in the kitchen.
Principal Skinner, I didn't expect an invitation. How kind of you.
Oh, It's nothing, Chalmers. I've whipped up a little something called a prisoner's delight. A secret ingredient? A touch of death's door bitters? No, Chalmers. But you're right. It gives the dish a rather tantalizing kick. Now let me grab us a couple of drinks first before it's too late.
Skinner exits and returns with a tray bearing 2 glasses and a bottle of milk.
Here we go, and please call me Seymour.
Seymour, I'll have this milk. Thank you.
Excellent. I think you'll find the combination quite pleasing with the prisoner's delight.
I'm trusting your judgment, Seymour.
Well, I wouldn't serve you anything less than exquisite. Surely death wouldn't have it any other way. He laughs nervously.
I'll hold you to that.
Indeed. Now let's take our seats and dine on this masterpiece. Enjoy your milk, Chalmers, and let me know if you need a refill.
Seymour Skinner, standing in front of the charred mess in the kitchen, rubs his temples in frustration, mumbling to himself.
Darn it all. I was so close to impressing Chalmers with this disgusting burnt mess. What happened here? The bitters weren't the problem, was it? No, it couldn't be. I swore I had that pot on low heat.
Seymour paces around the kitchen, scratching his head in confusion.
Well, this isn't going to ruin my day. I'll make up for it. How about a gourmet sandwich with death's door bitters on the side? Nothing says I'm sorry like a good sandwich and a hint of bitters. Yes, that's it. I'll whip that up in no time, and Chalmers will hardly remember the burnt mess. It won't be a problem.
Seymour's phone rings, snapping him out of his thoughts.
Yes, I'll be there right away. Another issue to contend with. I promise you, Chalmers. I'll make it up to you with that sandwich, alrighty then. Sandwich it is. I won't disappoint you again, Chalmers.
Seymour Skinner, standing by the window with a thoughtful expression.
What a disaster. That burnt mess was supposed to be an impressive feast for Superintendent Chalmers. My reputation as a competent cook is at stake here. But wait, what's that shop over there? I've seen it before, but never really paid attention. It sells Salzburger Knockerl. A potential savior. I have an idea.
Seymour turns to the audience with a sly grin.
This calls for a little creativity. Alrighty then. Let me see if I can still climb out this window.
Seymour steps back, assessing the situation, then leans out the window.
Damn rusted windows. This old place never fails to disappoint. Come on, Skinner, you can do it. Grunts, heaves, and finally manages to climb out.
Cut to Seymour on the ground, looking relieved.
I did it. Now let's see what they have in that shop. He approaches the window, gazing longingly at the delicious Salzburger Knockerl.
Back inside the kitchen, Seymour is visibly downcast as he faces the burnt mess.
That's it. The whole thing is wrecked. Chalmers is coming any minute now. Darn it all. I swore I'd have that burnt mess off the plates before he got here. So why does everything go wrong for me? All right, Skinner, pull yourself together. All is not lost. I'll just substitute this disaster with something we can salvage. Salzburger Knockerl it is. I'll whip that up in no time, and Chalmers will never know the difference. I won't let him down.
As Seymour gathers ingredients and starts cooking, his mood lifts, replaced with renewed motivation.
Seymour, what's that pungent smell? And why is there smoke coming from the kitchen?
Chalmers! It's just a steamer. You see, sometimes when the vegetables don't cooperate a little, pressure is required. That's all it is.
Seymour, it's clearly smoking. I've seen enough steamers in my time to know what proper steam looks like.
Well, perhaps you've just never seen a particularly defiant batch of cauliflower. It's quite a sight to behold, I assure you.
You always have a story, don't you, Seymour?
Well, a man's got to have some pride in his kitchen, Chalmers. It's just a little drama.
I suppose you'll convince me it's a masterpiece once it's ready to be served.
That's the spirit, Chalmers. I won't disappoint you. He busies himself in the kitchen, attempting to hide the source of the smoke while the charade continues.
Do tell, Seymour. How did this particularly defiant batch of cauliflower become such a handful?
I swear, if I ever get my hands on that vegetable, I'll wring its neck. Back in the kitchen, he pours more water into the pot, increasing the pressure and the smoke.
Only Seymour could turn a simple cauliflower into an ordeal. But I'm still curious to know what makes it so special. He enters the kitchen fully, peering over Skinner's shoulder.
Chalmers. There you are. Please take a seat and sample the fruits of my labor. Come, have a taste. It's quite something, really. He offers Chalmers a plate filled with questionable-looking cauliflower.
I think I'll pass, Seymour. Perhaps we can save this for the next faculty dinner. In the meantime, why don't we indulge in that sandwich you were so eager to prepare earlier?
Of course, Chalmers. That's a splendid idea. Surely this will leave a delightful taste in your mouth, along with the death's door bitters, of course. Both laugh, signaling the end of the scene. Amused as they sit down to eat, I have to make sure these bitters don't turn the sandwich into another culinary adventure, or we might just have to call the fire department. I'm glad you could join me for dinner, Chalmers. I've prepared a dish I believe you'll truly enjoy.
Principal Skinner, I thought we were having the steamed cauliflower you mentioned earlier.
Yes, this is it. You see, in some parts of the region we call this dish mess, but fear not. It's definitely not a burnt mess. It's the revered Salzburger Knockerl.
Principal Skinner, I've lived in this region my entire life, and I've never heard this dish referred to as mess. Show me proof, or I won't touch it.
Well, I've unfortunately misplaced any printed materials I had on this dish. But it is a local favorite, I assure you. And it's not as if I was trying to deceive you. It's just a mix-up. Let me prove its authenticity through its delicious taste.
I suppose I'll give it a try. The least I can do is give it a fair chance. But if it doesn't meet my expectations, I'll be sure to let you know. Principal Skinner, there's a fire in the kitchen.
Ah, Chalmers, it's just the oven. You know, I've been experimenting with a new recipe. A local delicacy called Werewolf Surprise.
Yeah, Werewolf Surprise?
In the kitchen. What on earth could that be?
It's just a mythical name for a unique dish, Chalmers. Don't be so skeptical.
Principal Skinner, cooking doesn't involve werewolves. Surely you're not suggesting this is some sort of culinary magic. I'd like to see exactly what's going on, not just take your word for it.
Then I can't let you in the kitchen just now, Chalmers. I've got a few safety protocols in place. It's for everyone's safety, I assure you.
Safety protocols? In a school kitchen? I find that hard to believe, Skinner. But I'll trust that you have a valid explanation and will wait for a more appropriate time to inspect the kitchen. Provided there won't be any more surprises like this one.
Of course, Chalmers. I'll keep a closer eye on the kitchen in the future. Here, let me show you this werewolf-proof safety feature. It's quite impressive. Leads Chalmers away from the kitchen.
The scene ends with Chalmers following Skinner out of the kitchen, leaving the mystery of the fire unsolved for the time being.
Well, Chalmers, I'm glad you found the meal enjoyable despite the unexpected twists and turns.
Unexpected twists and turns, Skinner. I believe those were more like unexpected disasters. The burnt cauliflower, or mess as you called it, and the mysterious kitchen fire.
Oh, the little nuances in the kitchen, they do add so much character. Like a friendly werewolf, if you will.
Werewolves in friendly kitchens, Skinner?
I think I'll stick to my own kitchen. Thank you.
Of course, Chalmers. I'm just trying to make the best out of a less than ideal situation.
I understand, Skinner. But next time, perhaps stick to tried and true recipes. They share a laugh as Chalmers heads towards the exit.
Safe travels. Chalmers. Looking forward to our next cooking adventure.
Indeed, Skinner. Until next time.
Mrs. Skinner, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Superintendent, thanks for asking. How about you? I'm good too. I appreciate the invitation to lunch. What's on the menu today? Well, I decided to make a trofai di Portofino for lunch. It's a pasta dish from the Italian Riviera that I found online. Sounds delicious. You really are quite the cook, Seymour. Thank you, Superintendent. I'm just glad you could join me for lunch today. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So how has your day been so far? It's been pretty good. I've finished all my tasks early, so I had more time to prepare lunch. That's great. Well, enjoy the meal and our conversation. Burn trofai di Portofino. Seriously, Brahma, what the hell is going on here? I don't know what to do now. Maybe I should just give up and order a pizza. Say, I hate when this happens. I was really looking forward to that trofai di Portofino. All right, let's see here. I have some pasta in the pantry. Maybe I can make a sauce to go with it. I know, I'll try out a new recipe I found for a creamy tomato basil sauce. That should hit the spot. That's much better. Sometimes a little creativity is all it takes to turn things around. Excited looking out the window, Skinner finds the inspiration to replace the burnt trofai di Portofino with Nienish tarts. Determined while looking outside, Skinner notices a shop that sells Nienish tarts and believes it will be a great substitute for the burnt trofai di Portofino. Anxious, he has a devilish plan climbing out the window to buy this replacement. Analytical Skinner ponders how to prepare this substitute. Satisfied, Skinner talks in detail about obtaining this ingredient and climbing back in through the window.
Skinner, where did you learn to cook trofai di Portofino?
It's a family recipe passed down from generation to generation. But enough about me, Chalmers.
Tell me, what inspired your love for Nienish tart?
Nienish tart? I've never heard of that before.
It's a classic dessert from my childhood. You really should try it sometime.
I'll have to look it up. Thanks for the recommendation, Skinner. Well, I must say that the Nienish tart is a delightful surprise.
Did you like it better than trofai di Portofino?
Oh, definitely. The crispiness and sweetness of the Nienish tart suits my taste more.
I see. Well, actually, I made a slight adjustment to the recipe. Instead of using trofai di Portofino, I used Ninish tart as the main ingredient. That's why the dish tastes different.
Oh, I see. Well, it's still delicious either way.
Glad you like it. So, shall we discuss our plans for the weekend?
Yes, let's do that. What's going on here? This looks like a fire.
Just a little field trip.
Field trip in the kitchen? That doesn't make sense.
I said it's a field trip. You don't need to see anything.
This is ridiculous. I demand to see what's going on. Well, I suppose this has been a fun field trip. Thanks for inviting me, Skinner. All right. Just let me go, okay?
I'm sorry if I seemed pushy. I just wanted to make sure you had a good time.
Look, I get it. But I think I've had enough for one day. Goodbye, Skinner.
Fine. I guess I'll see you around then. Hello, Superintendent Chalmers. Come on in. I wasn't expecting you today.
And, well, I needed to discuss a few things with you, and I saw an opportunity to grab some lunch while I was at it.
Seymour Skinner gestures towards the oven.
Speaking of lunch, I've got an Andrasace in the oven right now. Have you ever tried one? It's a traditional Dutch dish, kind of like Sinterklaas brings with him during the holidays.
No, I haven't. I haven't really had much exposure to Dutch cuisine. But it sounds interesting.
You're just in time then. I'd be happy to share a slice with you once it's done. In the meantime, how about something to drink? I've got some fine apple cider to go with the Andrasace.
Yes, that would be wonderful, Mr. Skinner. And speaking of Sinterklaas, I had a strange feeling I've been here before when I arrived. Do you ever get a strange feeling of déjà vu?
No, not usually. I guess it's just our subconscious mind playing tricks on us from time to time. Let's just focus on enjoying our lunch together, shall we? Damn it all, I fucked up the Andrasace. I can't believe I let this happen. Aphrodite, why have you forsaken me today? Or perhaps this is just my own clumsy fault. What's done is done.
I suppose I could try to salvage it, but it's probably beyond repair. And Superintendent Chalmers is going to be here any minute. Oh, this is just great. Well, I could offer him a bowl of my renowned chili instead. Or perhaps we could order in. But no, that's not the Skinner way. I'll have to think of something. Quickly. I could always tell him the Andrasace was a Dutch prank, and we'll have a good laugh about it. He'll probably appreciate the honesty, right? No, Chalmers isn't the type for such humor. Shit, I need to come up with something before he walks in. Maybe I'll offer him a tour of the school instead. That should keep him busy for a while. There's only one way to find out. Let's see if I can stall him with a little more small talk before leading him on the tour. All right, Skinner, get your act together. Let's put on a smile and welcome our esteemed guest with open arms. Skinner straightens up, ready for the superintendent's arrival.
What's this place? A shop selling catechin, just my luck. I can't believe I burnt the Andrasace. Then quick Superintendent Chalmers will be here any minute. Wait, what's this? Catechin? It's a Dutch ingredient, just like Androsace. Maybe I can use this as a substitute, but how will I prepare it? I'll figure it out. I'll need to act fast. First, I'll have to climb out the window and get some. This won't be easy, but it's worth a shot. Why does this always happen to me? But now we'll have to make do with Catechin. All right, Skinner, let's get to it. Let's see what kind of Dutch delicacy we can whip up with this substitute. And I'll show Chalmers that I can still impress him, even with this setback. So, time to get to work. Here goes nothing. Skinner exits, leaving the room. Hi, Superintendent Chalmers. Welcome back to the kitchen. I was just making a specialized version of Androsace.
Specialized version, Mr. Skinner? Isn't that a bit risky, especially with the smoke coming from the oven?
No, that's just the steam escaping. A little extra steam is no cause for concern.
Surely you don't believe that, Mr. Skinner. That's clearly smoke.
Well, perhaps it's the cinnamon I added this time. It can create quite a reaction when it's cooked at high temperatures.
And I see. And the feeling of déjà vu you mentioned earlier, is that related?
Just my imagination, Mr. Chalmers. Chalmers. Let's focus on the food and put this unusual sensation out of our minds.
You're right if that's what you believe. But please be careful, Mr. Skinner. We can't have any kitchen mishaps at the school.
Of course, Superintendent. You have my word. Just give me a minute. I'm glad you like it, Superintendent. I calls it Catechin surprise. A little detour from the traditional Dutch dish, I know, but sometimes a change is good.
This is indeed a pleasant surprise, Mr. Skinner. Skinner. I must admit, I've always found Androsace to be a bit too overpowering. This Catechin, however, is much more to my liking.
The Androsace, you mean? Yes, it can be a strong flavor. But this change, it was necessary. I stumbled upon the Catechin at the market on my way home, and, well, opportunities like that don't come along every day.
I see. Well, I'll not deny that this is a tasty variation. And even if it wasn't the Androsace as promised, I can't really complain.
I'm glad you feel that way, Superintendent. I'll cook up the Androsace another time for you to try.
Perhaps Mr. Skinner. But for now, let's enjoy our dinner. You've certainly outdone yourself with this Catechin surprise. Seymour, what's that smell?
And why is the kitchen filled with smoke?
So, that's just the stove, Chalmers. Some ice must have got stuck and started to burn.
Ice burning on the stove? Seymour, that doesn't make any sense. How could ice be localized to the kitchen?
Well, perhaps it was stored near the stove, Chalmers. Or maybe it fell from the roof during the recent rainstorm.
Seymour, ice does not burn. This is not a logical explanation. I believe there's a fire in the kitchen and we need to deal with it immediately.
Very well, Chalmers. I'll handle it. But why don't you wait outside and give me some space to work?
Seymour, I'm calling the fire department and we're evacuating the building. This is a serious situation and we cannot rely on your excuses and denials.
Well, Mr. Chalmers, I'm glad you enjoyed the lunch, despite the unexpected change in the main dish.
Yes, the Catechin surprise was quite tasty. Skinner, you managed to save the day once again.
Yes, well, you know how cooking can sometimes be, full of twists and turns.
Chalmers glances towards the school. a thick plume of smoke rising from the building.
Say, Skinner, is that smoke coming from the school?
Oh, no, nothing to worry about, Chalmers. That's just some moisture from the roof, cooling off after the rain.
You don't think it's a fire?
No, of course not. I'll have it looked into right away. Let me just make a call. Now, let me walk you to the gate, Chalmers. It was a pleasure having you for lunch, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
I see, Skinner. Well, I hope everything is all right. Goodbye, and have a good day.
Chalmers leaves.
Damn it all. How did it all go so wrong? I'll have to keep coming up with excuses, I suppose. Maybe I should just call off this charade and come clean about the interface and the fire. But no, it's best to keep things under wraps for now. I'll figure something out. This can't be the end of my culinary adventures. All right, here goes nothing. Let's see, what can I throw together for the next surprise meal? Superintendent Chalmers. Welcome, welcome. I've got a little surprise for you today.
Surprise. I didn't know you were cooking, Skinner.
And well, I wasn't exactly cooking, more like, experimenting. But let me offer you a drink while I finish up the main course.
Then all right, Skinner. What's this special drink?
It's a ginger milk curd, but I put a unique twist on it. Would you like some, Chalmers?
But remember, I'm on a strict diet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Taking a bite of the ginger milk curds, it's quite burnt.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
A loud crash is heard and a harpsichord comes to life.
Wow, what was that? It looks like the ginger milk curd burned the portulaca, and now, pointing at the harpsichord, this harpsichord has come to life and is my new pet.
Skinner, I think it's time to call for a cleanup crew. This isn't cooking. It's, something else.
Not so fast, Chalmers. This is the future of cooking. A living, breathing harpsichord dish. The possibilities are endless.
Skinner, I think it's time to stick to the tried and true methods of cooking.
Fine, but you have to admit, a harpsichord pet is pretty cool, right?
Skinner, I think I'll stick to my cats.
Shit, my ginger milk curd is burnt. I can't believe this. What am I gonna do now? Taking a bite of the burnt ginger milk curd, well, I guess I'll just have to pretend no one's watching and enjoy it. Suddenly here's a loud crash. My burnt ginger milk curd must have burned the portulaca. Seeing the harpsichord come to life, and this harpsichord has come to life and is my new pet. Oh my, a harpsichord. But how? And looking at the harpsichord, this is quite fascinating, I must say. Well, I never thought I'd have a pet harpsichord. Spets the harpsichord. I wonder what its name should be. Well, my burnt ginger milk curd is no more, but I found a replacement. The portulaca outside that shop. I just wished I wouldn't have to climb out the damn window to get it. I'll come up with some plan to grab it. No one will ever know. Once I have it, I can recreate the dish and save face.
Skinner exits the room.
All right, a portulaca is mine. Now what to do with it? A simple salad won't do. I'll have to find something more exotic.
Skinner climbs back in through the window.
But no one is going to enjoy as much as they would the ginger milk curd. This portulaca has become a curse. It burned, just like that blasted ginger milk curd, and now I've got a harpsichord as my pet to deal with. I can't win. I'll just have to serve this burnt portulaca and hope no one notices. Maybe they'll think I meant to burn it. Might as well just curl up in a ball and give up. Cooking has never been this painful.
Skinner, is everything all right? It smells like something is burning.
The steam just happens to make it thicker and more delicious.
That's not steam I see, Skinner. It's smoke.
Oh, I assure you it's just steam. I found a way to make it even more flavorful, you see. To taking a bite of the ginger milk curd, yes. Quite burnt, but still delicious.
You're trying to pull a fast one on me.
This is obviously smoke. Skinner, I think you need to take a break from cooking. This isn't making food, it's creating chaos.
Yeah, here we are. Chalmers, your steamed ginger milk curd.
Is this portulaca?
No, of course not. It's regional dialect for ginger milk curd.
Seymour, I've never heard of that.
Taking a bite of the ginger milk curds, I'm sorry, it's a bit burnt. Here, let me prove it to you.
Looking at the burnt ginger milk curd, Seymour, this is not a joke. And what's with the harpsichord?
I demand to know what's going on here.
Chalmers, it's a long story, but I assure you I've had a run of bad luck with the kitchen today.
Seymour, this is unacceptable. You've burned dinner, and now you're serving me something that you claim is something completely different.
I think it's time for a change around here.
Neil, looking at the harpsichord, I suppose you're right, Chalmers. I'll try to do better next time.
I want to report on this mess, Skinner. You have 1 week to turn things around, or I'll find someone who can.
Understood, Chalmers. I won't lay you down.
Gee, get yourself together, Skinner. We can't have this kind of chaos in Springfield Elementary.
A harpsichord, pet. I'll think of something.
Skinner! There's a fire in the kitchen.
Chalmers, I assure you it's not a fire. It's just mummification.
Mummification in the kitchen.
Ow! There's no need to worry. It's simply the cooking process. Sometimes it just happens.
Seymour, there is nothing in the kitchen that can mummify it. You're either hiding something or haven't a clue what you're doing.
Taking a bite of the burnt ginger milk curd. Fine, you caught me. There was a fire, but it's under control. Ginger milk curd. Burnt to a crisp. But I have a new pet. A harpsichord that somehow came to life.
Skinner, I don't even know what to say.
This isn't cooking, it's chaos.
Lunch was quite delightful, Chalmers.
I think the ginger milk curd turned out well.
Yeah, it was good. For a burnt dish. Noticing the house burning? Seymour, do I smell smoke?
No. It's just the mummification process. The curd had a strange reaction.
Seymour, there's no such thing as mummification in the kitchen. What's actually happening?
Taking a bite of the burnt ginger milk curd, fine. You caught me?
I burned the curd. But don't worry about it. I have a new pet. A harpsichord that somehow came to life.
I don't even know what to say.
Just try it out, Chalmers. I'll bet you never heard a mule play a melody before. Is smiling, waiting for Chalmers to react.
Seymour, I think I'll take my leave. Goodbye.
Superintendent Chalmers. Come in. I was just about to sit down for a bite. I've got a little something special in the oven today.
Says that the android who's been causing trouble at Mammothfield High. I've come to retire him today.
Oh, no, not today. I've got a delicious Gajar Key Barfi that's been simmering all day. And I've got a nice bottle of Duende to wash it down. Would you care for a drink?
I thought that was an ancient Spanish spirit.
You've got quite the collection, Skinner.
It's a 2355 vintage, the best year yet. Now come, let's sit and enjoy this meal before we discuss matters.
Very well, Skinner. But remember, the android must be dealt with.
No, I know. But first, let's enjoy this Gajar Key Barfi. It's a treat.
Fucking hell. The Gajar Key Barfi is burnt.
Maybe it's a sign.
Maybe I shouldn't be in charge anymore. But what if I could turn this around?
What if I could make this a memorable dinner for Chalmers? I'll have to think fast. I've got to come up with something impressive, something that will make Chalmers forget about retiring me. The year is 2355, and Chalmers has come to retire me, the android who has plunged Mammothfield into darkness. But first, we have a nice dinner. I've got to make it count. Gajar Key Barfi, burnt to a crisp. What a fucking disaster. But I won't let this ruin the dinner. I need a replacement, and fast. And look at that shop over there selling rolling pins. Could it be a sign? Then I'll have to climb out the window, but it's worth it for this dinner. All right, here goes nothing. Wish me luck. And I'm back. I've got what we need. But this isn't Gajar Key Barfi, it's a rolling pin. I can't believe I burnt the dessert and now we have to make do with this. I'm such a fucking failure. This is a disaster.
Well, we'll have to make the best of it.
Let's call this rolling pin disaster. The year is 2355, and Chalmers has come to retire me, the android who has plunged Memafield into darkness. We have a nice dinner first, though. I've got to make it count, even if it's a rolling pin disaster. Superintendent Chalmers. Come in, come in, come in. I was just about to sit down for a bite.
Says that the android has been causing trouble at Memafield High. I've come to retire him today.
Oh, no, not today. I've got a little something special in the oven today. It's called Gajar Ki Barfi, an ancient Indian dessert. Would you care for a taste?
I'd be happy to, Skinner. I've never had Gajar Ki Barfi before.
It's made from grated carrots, condensed milk, and cardamom. It's a delightful treat, I must say.
It certainly smells delicious. I can't wait to try it.
Oh, by the way, I picked up a rolling pin from the shop over there. It's not for the dessert, though. Just in case we need it for something.
The rolling pin? What for?
Just a precaution. You know, in case we need to roll something out or something.
Well, it's good to be prepared. Let's sit down and enjoy this Gajar Ki Barfi before we discuss matters.
I'm glad you're here to share this with me, Chalmers. The year is 2355, and despite the troubles I've caused, we have a nice dinner first. Here we are. I've prepared a little something for dinner.
Not Gajar Ki Barfi.
And there was a bit of a mix-up. This is actually a rolling pin.
The rolling pin. I must say, I prefer rolling pins to Gajar Ki Barfi.
Well, I've come up with a story to explain the mix-up. It's a long one, but I promise it's quite interesting.
I'll listen, but I'm not holding my breath.
The year is 2355, and Chalmers has come to retire Skinner, the android who has plunged Memafield into darkness. They have a nice dinner first, though.
Chalmers, come and take a look at this.
What's going on, Skinner? It looks like there's a fire in the kitchen.
Oh, no, it's just the White Cliffs of Dover.
The White Cliffs of Dover. In the kitchen? How is that possible?
Well, it's a bit of a long story, but it's a beautiful sight, I assure you.
Let me take a look.
And I'm afraid I can't let you, Chalmers. It's a sensitive matter.
Sensitive matter.
A fire is a dangerous matter, Skinner.
You can't just sweep it under the rug.
Chalmers, I've got something to tell you.
What is it, Skinner?
I may have made a small mistake with the dessert.
You mean the rolling pin?
No, not that. I accidentally set the kitchen on fire.
What? Are you serious?
I swear it was just a small flame. I thought it was the White Cliffs of Dover.
The White Cliffs of Dover. In your kitchen.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I panicked and served the rolling pin instead.
I must say, you have a flair.
I'm sorry, Chalmers. I never meant for any of this to happen.
It's all right, Skinner. We all make mistakes.
Thank you, Chalmers. I appreciate your understanding.
Well, it's been a memorable dinner, that's for sure. I suppose we should get down to business.
I know. I'll pack my things and be out of here by tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Skinner. But it's for the best.
I know. It's been a pleasure serving as the superintendent of Memmerfield High.
And I've enjoyed working with you, Skinner. Hey, goodbye.
Goodbye, Chalmers. It's been a wild ride. I suppose that's my cue to go.
Yes, it is. Take care, Skinner.
Thank you, Chalmers. Superintendent Chalmers, welcome to my humble abode. Do come in, do come in. I've been looking forward to this lunch all day. Proud? Proud.
Principal Skinner, your home always smells wonderful.
Indeed, indeed. Today I'm cooking up a real treat. It's called Chitala ornata, a delicacy hailing from the enchanting waters of the Saratoga River. It's a fish that's been marinated in a secret blend of spices for hours and then gently poached to perfection. Anticipatory.
And that does sound tempting, Skinner. I'm sure it will be a truly memorable meal.
I'm so glad you think so, Superintendent. But first, let me offer you a refreshing drink. Would you care for a glass of the Saratoga mineral water? It's collected straight from the springs and is said to have restorative properties. Friendly.
Thank you, Principal Skinner. I'd love a glass. But I see the fish is not quite finished yet. Shall we take a stroll around the garden while we wait? Polite.
That sounds like a lovely idea, Superintendent. Let me get us those drinks and we'll enjoy the beauty of my garden together. Happy.
Wonderful, Principal Skinner. I'm certain this will be an unforgettable lunch. Optimistic.
Blasted Chitala ornata. How could I have let this happen? It was supposed to be the piece de resistance of this lunch. Now it's just a burnt, inedible disaster. What am I going to do now? Perhaps I could whip up a quick salad or grill some sliced bread. No, I need something more substantial. I'll have that simmering in no time. Bring on Superintendent Chalmers. I'll serve him a meal fit for a king. Despite this little setback. Now, where did I put that turmeric?
Chitala ornata is a no-go. But I won't let Superintendent Chalmers down. I see it, outside my window, the well-branded shop. A perfect substitute for my failed dish, but how to get it? I'll have to climb out the window. This could go wrong. I must be quick and quiet. I'll sneak out, grab the veil branded, and sneak back in. No one will be the wiser. Let's see. The Val branded hum. I'll make Val branded a la king. A tasty chicken dish poached in a rich, savory gravy with the Val branded as the star ingredient. Yes, Superintendent Chalmers will be quite impressed with this surprise dish. Now, where did I put my ladder? Ah, there it is. Off I go. Bring on Superintendent Chalmers. I'll serve him a meal fit for a king. The Val branded a lay king it is. Ah, Superintendent Chalmers, I see you've made it to the kitchen. I was just preparing our main course.
Indeed, Principal Skinner. It smells delightful. Is it the chitala or nada?
Yes, it is. This fish is a local delicacy that's been passed down for generations. It's poached in a secret blend of herbs and spices.
Fascinating. I've never heard of it before.
Well, it's a real treat. I've spent hours preparing it. But how about we discuss its origins while it simmers?
That's an excellent idea, Principal Skinner.
Chitala or nada actually comes from the enchanting waters of the Saratoga River. Legend has it that the fish is the river god's favorite dish and is only found in its purest form during the winter solstice.
That's quite a story. It adds to the allure of this meal.
Indeed. Now let me offer you a glass of Saratoga mineral water while we wait for the Chitala or nada to be ready.
That sounds lovely, Principal Skinner. By the way, did you happen to get the Val branded for the sauce?
Oh, yes, I did. It's in a safe place. Why do you ask?
No reason? I just thought it was an unusual ingredient.
It is indeed. But it adds a unique flavor to the Chitala or nada.
I look forward to trying it.
No, I haven't. Do tell.
It's a tale about Chitala or nada used to swim in vast schools so large that they would darken the entire Saratoga River. And every year, during the autumn equinox, they would make their way upstream to spawn.
That's incredible. I'd love to see that one day. And speaking of migrations, have you heard of the famous horseshoe crab migration in New Jersey?
Yes, I have. It's quite a spectacle. But enough about migrations and fish. Let's enjoy our meal when it's ready.
Shall we take a seat at the table?
That's a wonderful idea, Superintendent Chalmers.
Both exit the kitchen to sit at the table. End of scene.
See, here we are, Superintendent Chalmers, enjoying the main course. It's the highly sought-after Val branded. I know it may look different from what I initially promised, but trust me, it's the same dish. It's called Chitala or nada in some local dialects.
Skinner, this doesn't look like the Chitala or nada you promised me. Val branded is a different fish entirely.
Oh, I see what you mean, but there's a cultural nuance to this. The names get interchanged from region to region. It's all in a day's work for an educator like myself.
Skinner, I value your intellect, and your culinary abilities are certainly intriguing, but this is not the fish I was led to believe I would be having.
I'm sorry for the confusion, Superintendent. The Chitala or nada I had earlier was not up to the mark, and unfortunately it was not salvageable. I took a risk and cooked this instead, hoping it would be a suitable substitute.
Skinner, I hope for a unique dining experience with the Chitala or nada. This is a simple Val branded, and we both knew that was not the plan.
I deeply regret the mix-up, Superintendent. I'm at a loss for words and will make it up to you in some way. I'd be glad to explain our region's rich culinary history and cultural nuances regarding these fish names, if that would help ease the situation. Hopeful. Oh, Superintendent Chalmers, I believe I may have overcooked dinner a bit. Nervous.
Skinner, is that smoke I see coming from the kitchen?
No, it's just a little excess oil. It's all under control.
Skinner, there's a definite fire in your kitchen. Concerned.
The heat wave, then, perhaps. It's been quite warm in here lately. Determined.
Skinner, a heat wave in the kitchen? That doesn't make any sense. May I take a look, please?
I'm afraid I can't let you, Superintendent. The food will burn, and the smell.
Skinner, I need to see what's causing this fire in your kitchen. Your explanations aren't making any sense.
I really should check on the grill, Superintendent. I think the heat wave is playing with the flame's temperament.
Skinner, I won't be able to stay for dessert. I still can't shake off the feeling that something was off about the fish.
Oh, it was just a little overcooked, Chalmers. Not to worry, it still tasted wonderful.
I'm not so sure about that, Skinner. I'll take my leave now. Let's hope for better luck next time.
But yes, Superintendent. Goodbye for now. I'll see you soon.
Farewell, Principal Skinner. Pauses as he walks away.
Phew, that was close. I won't let them find out about the horse meat. They'll never suspect a thing. What's for dessert, damn? I hope the chocolate lava cake wasn't a total disaster. I better go put it out before it spreads to the house. Better luck next time. Exits the scene. Superintendent Chalmers. What a pleasant surprise. Come in. I've just gotten something cooking. That's absolutely delightful.
Skinner, the delicious aroma wafting from your house is already making my stomach growl. What's for lunch today?
Well, I thought I'd try something new this week. It's a traditional Italian dish called fagottini. It's a type of pasta filled with meat, spinach, and cheese, all baked to perfection in a rich tomato sauce.
Oh, Skinner, you really know how to tempt a man. But is there nothing to drink while we wait for the pasta?
I'm afraid not, Chalmers. I was so focused on the meal that I completely forgot. But I do have some seltzer if you'd like.
Oh, just seltzer. Well, I suppose it'll have to do.
Just then, the doorbell rings again. Seymour Skinner opens the door to reveal a large humanoid robot with glowing red eyes and a disturbing smile.
Superintendent, I'd like to introduce you to our new school security system, Ninian.
Skinner, that is not a normal security system. That's some sort of Japanese thing.
Inaudibly, smiling wider.
I think I'll just go then, Principal Skinner. I'll wait outside for the pasta.
Of course, Chalmers. I'll be right there. Don't mind Nenyan. He's just a little quirky.
I knew the superintendent would find him strange. Seymour Skinner sits at the kitchen table, holding a fork in front of a charred plate of fagottini, a pained expression on his face.
Damn it, I ruined the pasta.
And now, Chalmers will have to wait. I could make him a sandwich.
Or maybe I can call for pizza.
No, that's not good enough. I promised him a traditional Italian meal. I'll have to make something new. It's all right. Let's see what I have in the fridge. Maybe I can whip up something quick and delicious. This isn't the end of the world, is it? I can make an excellent recovery. Let's do this.
Skinner stands up and heads to the fridge, shrugging off his disappointment.
A fresh start. That's all it takes.
End of scene.
Well, this is just great. I ruined the fagottini. Now what am I gonna feed Chalmers when he gets here? Wait a minute. What's that shop over there? Seems to sell stalks of steppe. Ah, I've heard of this dish. It's a Russian specialty. Yes, this could work. I'll climb out the window, grab a few bags, and we'll have a delicious replacement meal. This is going to be a little more complicated than I had planned. This is unacceptable. I can't serve Chalmers burnt pasta. I'll show him a real Russian dish. All right, let's see how this goes. I'll be back in no time. This isn't the end of the world, is it?
After some time passed, Skinner comes back in, visibly exhausted.
Well, that was quite an undertaking. Climbed out the window, managed to grab a few bags of steppe, and got back without being seen. But now the real challenge begins. I'll make the best of this unfortunate situation and cook a Russian feast. Fagottini, you'll be forgotten. Steppe, you will be my new best friend. I can't believe I have to resort to this. Oh well, at least Chalmers will get a taste of something new. Maybe he'll even like it. I suppose this is just another day in the life of a principal. Let's get started. I have a lot of preparation to do. Superintendent Chalmers. I was wondering if you could lend a hand. I seem to have. Slight issue with the pasta.
Skinner, what on earth is that smell?
Is everything okay in here?
Oh, that's just the pasta, Chalmers. You see, I'm trying out a new technique. A steamed version of fagottini, if you will. The smoke you're seeing, it's just steam.
Skinner, that is most definitely not steam. I've seen enough steam in my day to know the difference between that and a kitchen fire.
But, Chalmers, I swear it's just steam. I've read about it in a cookbook. It's all about controlling the temperature and adding a little bit of oil.
Skinner, I have had enough of your tall tale. This is not a time for jokes. I suggest we quickly get this situation under control before we have a real disaster on our hands.
Here you are, Superintendent Chalmers. I'm glad you could join me for dinner. I prepared a little something different tonight.
Skinner, I thought you were making fagottini.
This isn't fagottini, is it?
I'm afraid not, Chalmers. There was a little mishap with the pasta earlier, and I decided to cook up something else instead. But I assure you, it's just as delightful. You see, it's a Russian dish called steppe.
Steppe, really. I've actually had that before, Skinner.
It's quite good, in fact. I'm more relieved than disappointed, I must admit.
I'm glad to hear that, Superintendent. And as they say, every cloud has a silver lining.
Is that so? Well, let's dive in. This is indeed tasty.
I'm glad you think so, Chalmers. Enjoy your meal. To unexpected surprises and delicious food.
Cheers to that, Principal Skinner.
I'm only... Skinner, what's that smoke coming from in here? I see flames.
Oh, chill, Chalmers. That's not flames, it's just... the Superman. He's helping me cook, Chalmers. You know, making the water boil faster, flipping the pasta.
That doesn't make any sense, Skinner. The Superman doesn't exist. And even if he did, he wouldn't interfere in such a trivial matter as cooking a meal.
Well then, perhaps it was a rogue flame. I'll be right on it, Chalmers. Just give me a minute.
I'll be out in the hallway if you need anything, Skinner. But try to keep it under control, will you? I don't want to have to call the fire department.
Chalmers exits the kitchen, shaking his head. Skinner, red-faced, tries to douse the fire with a pot of water, but only manages to spread it further. Great. Now I've really ruined it. This is going to be an even bigger disaster than before.
Skinner, I must admit, that wasn't the fagottini I was expecting.
I'm truly sorry about that, Chalmers. It was an honest mistake. I'll make it up to you next time.
Well, I've heard that before, Skinner. And I've seen your house billowing smoke. I'm not buying your Superman excuses.
Well, yes, Superman was just, helping me out. He's a bit quirky.
Skinner, I don't believe you. I'm going home now. Until next time.
Chalmers, I promise you, it was just Superman. I hope we can put this behind us.
I'll see you around, Principal Skinner. Walks away.
I guess he doesn't believe me. Well, I'll just have to try harder next time. Sighs, watching Chalmers leave. Chalmers, just in time for lunch. Come in, come in. Walks back, opens door.
Please, Skinner, always a pleasure.
Your home smells wonderful.
Why, thank you, Chalmers. That's my famous Murray cooking in the oven. It's a traditional Indian rice dish. You'll love it. I could almost eat it myself.
Oh, you know me, Skinner. I can wait. Do you have coffee to offer while we do?
Yes, of course. I'll be right back with it. Walks to kitchen.
The Skinner leaves. The doorbell rings again.
Skinner? Superintendent Chalmers here? I think I left my wallet at your house.
Chalmers, already? This wasn't supposed to be a double date, of course. I'll get it for you.
Well, you're a true host, Skinner. I'll wait for you in the living room.
Right behind you, Chalmers. Exits to get the wallet.
Seymour Skinner in the kitchen, holding a burnt pot.
Damn it. My eyes burn. Oh, wow. How could I let this happen? I've been cooking this for hours. I can't move. I can't serve this to Chalmers. He'll think I'm an incompetent chef. And just when I thought I had a chance to impress him, what am I going to do now? I can't make him a new pot from scratch in time. I might as well cancel dinner altogether. No, I can't do that. I need to find another solution. I can't let Chalmers down. What if he finds out it's burnt? I could try to pass it off as something else. But that'd be dishonest. I need to think. Quickly. What can I do? Maybe I could. Thinking.
Seymour Skinner, deep in thought, as the scene fades to black. End of scene. No mention of bald spot in this scene.
Ah, there is. A Dorset drum by the pond. I'll bet that could make a delicious substitute. I'll need to climb out the window to get it. I mustn't let him down. I certainly won't serve that charred Murray. But first, I need to fetch this drum without raising suspicion.
Darn Skinner, your delicious smelling tradition cooked to a crisp.
Yes, poor Murray. Perhaps another time. Dorset drum it is.
Skinner's internal monologue as the scene fades to black. End of scene.
Ah, Chalmers, it's nice to see you in my kitchen. I was just about to serve up a bowl of this delicious Murray.
The aroma is truly intoxicating. Would you mind telling me about the origin of this dish? It's always intrigued me.
Of course, Chalmers. Murray is an ancient Indian dish made from soaked rice, fenugreek, and lentils. It's quite a labor-intensive process, but worth it for the distinct savory flavor.
Fascinating? I've never had the pleasure of trying it before.
Well, this is your lucky day then, isn't it? Now, if you'll excuse me for just a moment, I need to check on something.
Certainly. I'll just sit here and enjoy the delightful ambience.
Skinner exits the kitchen. A brief moment of silence passes before Skinner re-enters, slightly flustered.
Chalmers, I've made a slight error with the Murray. While checking on it, I accidentally let it boil over. I'm truly sorry, but I happen to have an idea for a quick substitute. I once heard of using a Dorset drum as an alternative.
Dorset drum as a substitute for Murray? I've never heard of that before.
Yes, it's quite unusual, but worth a shot. I'll need to prepare it quickly. Would you mind keeping our little secret, Chalmers? I'd hate for the others to know.
Of course, Skinner. Your culinary experiment will be our little secret. You know, I trust your judgment in these matters.
Thank you, Chalmers. I can't let the others discover my small misstep with the Murray. I suppose we'll just have to call this a unique fusion of traditional Indian and British cooking.
Agreed. And who knows, maybe we'll discover a new dish together.
Exchange friendly smiles.
I won't disappoint you, Chalmers. The Dorset drum substitute will be ready soon. Exits kitchen. Chalmers, please enjoy your dinner. This is a regional delicacy known as Murray or Dorset drum in some parts of India. I'm sorry.
But this doesn't look like the Murray you've been preparing for hours.
It seems more like roasted Dorset drum.
Yes. There was a slight mishap with the original dish, but this, Chalmers, is the true essence of Indian cuisine. I assure you it's delicious.
Skinner, I trust you. But this doesn't resemble anything like the dish you promised. What happened?
There was an unexpected kitchen emergency. I improvised. I assure you it's still the traditional Indian Murray, just prepared differently.
I'll need to taste it for myself before I accept this explanation.
Of course, Chalmers. I'll be more careful next time. Let me fetch you another serving. Exits the dining room.
Skinner, I think there's a fire in the kitchen.
Oh, don't be alarmed, Chalmers. That's just the old house settling.
Settling? That doesn't sound right, Skinner. I can see flames coming from the oven.
It's not the oven, Chalmers. I assure you it's just the spirits in the house playing tricks on us.
Spirits in the oven? Skinner, that doesn't make any sense. The kitchen is a perfectly rational explanation for the fire.
Fine, Chalmers. I'll go deal with it. Exits, exits.
Well, I suppose we'll find out soon enough. Enters kitchen.
I'm glad you enjoyed the lunch, Chalmers. The Mary turned out wonderfully, don't you think?
Yes, indeed, Skinner. It was delicious. I've never tasted anything quite like it.
I'm glad you found it enjoyable. I put a lot of effort into it.
There's an awkward silence as they both gaze at the house, but Skinner quickly covers with a joke.